I think the development of full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 6 3 2 9 7.
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Friday, and that means it is show night. And that means we're back to talk about all of the things we're not allowed to talk about, of course. Yeah, like I always say, it's still not illegal. We're still doing it. All those things we can't talk about, well, you know, that would be aliens. That would be conspiracy. That would be the paranormal. That would be the 24-hour news cycle. That would be the government. That would be the weather and geoengineering. That would be academia. That would be everything. And how we live in the upside down and we're supposed to pretend we're not. That is what this show is about. And that's what we're back to talk about. That's what we do on this show. And we're going to continue to do that on this show until it's illegal. And I'll be damned if they stop us. If they stop us. You can't stop us. You can only hope to contain us. And the technocracy is doing their best to contain us, that's for sure. Okay, so with all of that said, all the bluster is out the window now. But yeah, this is a show about all those things, and we do this live. I want to point this out. This is critical because we do this for you, and we do this as a community, so we can all get together and talk about these things because, well, there isn't a place where you can. I think that's the biggest problem, right? Like every single thing seems to be, what would you call it? Everything seems to be censored. Everything seems to be redacted. Everything seems to be not allowed. Like I said, try and call Don Lemon sometime or Sean Hannity while they're on the air and get on, just to give them your random thought. No, not happening, right? Because you're not part of the script. If you're not part of the script, you ain't on air. It's as simple as that, and that's what this is about. It's about the opposite of that. So, meaning that if you pick up your phone, you dial this phone number, 702-957-1037, you can find, you'll get on the show. You'll be able to talk to me, right? Not like I'm some celebrity and you should be honored or anything, but you should get your ass on here and tell us what you think, because That's what this is about. It's not about what I think, it's about what you think. And the more of us get together and call in and talk about these things, the more we get together. So that's what's up. That's what we're doing. And you can also join the Discord. We use the Discord, which is a chat and a voice program. All the kids are using it these days to play video games, but we're smart enough to know we can use it for talk shows as well. So we use it for the international types, or the folks that are more technology savvy that don't want to dial an old school long distance number, because 702 is a Las Vegas area code, and that's where we're streaming from, and et cetera, so on. So one more time, 702-957-1037. That's the phone number. You call, I'll put you right on the show. You can also join the show by joining the Discord. Go to troubledminds.org is the official website. You can click the Discord. The link is there. The phone number's there. Everything's there. And there you go. That's how you get on the show. Okay. So with all of that said, it's live. You know what's up. The way this works is we do this again. We do it live because we want to participate with you. And so we have chat rolling on. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on the website through YouTube. It's embedded on the website troubleminds.org. All this stuff, right? We're streaming on Twitch, D Live. We're streaming on Periscope, which is part of Twitter. So, et cetera, so on. We're streaming in all these places. We're reading chat from most of them, whatever can come through, like the multi-chat plugins. So, go ahead and chat it up, and whatever I think is pertinent, we should be able to read. We'll read. We'll get you on. I'll get your chat on the air as well. So, yeah. As I choke on my words. So what we're gonna do is we will do shout outs. So the point being that we're streaming on all these platforms. If you want a shout out, just type in where you're listening from, just first name or city, country, state, whatever is fine. We don't need your full address, because if you give that to me, I won't read it. So don't do that. And we'll give you a shout out. So we're gonna do shout outs first, and then we'll do conspiracy news. We always do conspiracy news, and it's kind of get the conversation started. And really, it's like I said, this is about you. If you guys want to call and talk about whatever, like the elephant in the room of the October surprise. As they keep calling it, which turned out to not be what they said. But anyway, we don't really do politics, but there is the elephant in the room of Donald Trump catching the COVID. So if you want to talk about that, there's plenty of conspiracy angles to talk about that without really getting into politics. So we can definitely do that. And so we will get into some conspiracy news, taking your calls all show, and then we have a topic for tonight, which we always have a topic of some sort. And this, maybe you guys have heard of this, maybe you have not, but it's more of a brand new thing that just hit. It was a IPO, a public stock offering situation, and there's a company called Palantir, and this just went public. Okay, so now, what does that mean? What does Palantir mean? We're going to talk about Palantir and exactly what that is, and if it's a welcome added addition to the surveillance state that's already in place, or if this is something like next level, holy shit, hold on to your butts type situation. So we're going to talk about Palantir and Big Brother and the surveillance state in the second half. And again, that's what we're going to do. All right. So let's do shout outs. We'll get to news in a sec, and then we'll get to Palantir in the second half of the show. Okay. So we get first on let's see, we have, there we go. Let's go to Periscope first. We got Ja Naki. What's up? Says, I am Anunnaki descendant, AMA, which is Ask Me Anything. Okay, I got tons of stuff to ask you, but you got to call in and I'll ask you. 702-957-1037. Eli, what's up? Hello from Washington. First on YouTube. We got Cedric. Don't you dare be sour. Clap your hands and feel the power. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Brandon on YouTube says, is this still reality? I mean, I know the United States isn't the center of the universe, but it feels like everything is being openly manipulated. Amen, brother. Lizzie, what's up? From Nebraska. Thanks for being here. Mr. Top Hat Jones. He says, damn, I made it to a live show, but I have to work at 5 a.m. I'm a new listener and wanted to at least stop by and say thanks. I love the show. Thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you listening. And we'll have if you can't listen to the whole show, thanks for showing up tonight. We will have a piping hot archive ready for you whenever you're ready for it. So there you go. Oh, Bailey, what's up? Thanks for showing up, Bailey. Bailey from the Best Damn Podcast, which we're gonna hook up with at some point and do a double stream there. But what's up, Bailey? Thanks for showing up. Let's see, we got John Naki again. I'm Anunnaki. What's up, buddy? Bailey from Oahu. Bailey's in Oahu now. Let's see. Michael from Dallas is Mr. Top Hat. We got, we got Fred from Arizona. Thanks for showing up. First on Facebook because it scrolled, and I'm having problems, guys. I'm having tech issues, if you notice. It's taking me longer and longer to start these damn shows because they keep breaking shit. Like every time they update some kind of BS on these platforms, right? Like, let's say Facebook and YouTube. So they both change things. So now when I hit the stream button, nothing goes live. Like, I sit here and I'm staring at the thing going, what the hell's going on? So then I have to play the music in the beginning and then go in and tinker and be underneath the hood of these settings and the submenus and this other bullshit to find this stream key and that stream key and why is this not working? Anyway, that's why it's taking longer and longer because they keep changing this shit. It used to be I press start, the thing would stream to all platforms. No, now there's one problem after another, and it's literally every damn show is like a troubleshoot situation. So that's why it takes a little longer to start. Sorry about all that, but what are you gonna do? All right, so we got Joe from Florida. What's up, Joe? It is whispered in this show. It is known that the show doesn't begin until Joe from Florida calls. What's up, Joe? Thanks for showing up, man. We got John. It says creepy music, and it scrolled on Facebook. So if I missed you, go ahead and drop it in there down below, and I'll read you as we go. Julio, what's up? Good evening. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Tom, hello. Mike from Alberta, Canada. How you doing? How's everyone tonight? Fantastic. Thanks for showing up. Canadians, we love the Canadians. Joe says we are all above ground today. Hell yeah, baby. I agree. That's a good day if you wake up and you actually wake up. Shane, what's up? Good evening from St. Paul, Minnesota. Working all night. Yeah, yeah. Me too. You say sort of. Todd, what's up? Good old OG Todd from the original days, the original stream. What's up, Todd? Thanks for being here tonight. We got Richard from Kansas City, Missouri. John says I was enjoying that creepy lobby host music. Sweet. Robert, let's launch this rocket. Thanks for showing up, man. Ben, good afternoon. How you doing? We got Robert. He says my bathroom mirror lies. It lies. I think the okay. I've heard that the trick to fixing the bathroom mirror is you turn off the light and you light a candle and you say Bloody Mary 3 times or some shit like this. Okay, don't try that. I'm just kidding. Especially not at 3 a.m. Anyway, okay, let's see. John says, I think there's a certain floor at the hospital where you can talk about these types of things, but they might not let you do it. Might not let you leave if you do it. Agreed, 100%. Agreed. That's why we do it here, so we don't have to check anybody in and put them in straitjackets. What's up, Larry? Check out Mars tonight, right beside the moon. Very spectacular sight. Do check that out, guys. I will definitely go take a look right after the show. Let's see. Texas Tom, what's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. We got Larry from Ontario, Canada. Ben from Australia. We got Timothy. What's up, my man? Tinfoil Timothy University. Had a reminder. What the hell? Yeah, see, you can't rely on tech for shit. I tell you what, right? You set a reminder. You're like, I'm not going to miss Trouble Minds this time. Watch, you'll see. I'll be there, and then they're like, nah. We know what you're doing. We're on to you. We're not gonna give you the reminder. What's up? We got Ben. Let's see. Robert has said, Diane from New York. Hello, thanks for tuning in. We got who else? Tom says first time listening. Or well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Tom from Texas. Welcome to the show. We got a little bit more. We got Astro Kitty 70 on Twitch. Our president is in the Walter Reed Army Medical Center. Hoping he will be fine and raring to go after what he's able to get out. When he's able to get out. A great comment, and like I said, the elephant in the room. If you guys want to talk about that stuff, we can talk about that. There's the phone number, and you can hop on. What's up, GameVet02? What up from UFO-filled Cottage Grove, Minnesota? How you doing, man? Thanks for being here tonight. We got Super Vike. Oh, here we are. No, oh, there you are. What's up, Super Vike? He's our resident jokester, Super Vike. Used to be Larry. Where's Larry been? Larry used to be the resident jokester. It's now Super Vike. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's get to the news and talk about conspiracy, shall we? Let's do this. Let's get to all right. Let's start with the most trusted source of news, CNN. One of my favorite sources. Let's go here. We'll talk about this. Like we've been saying, like it's funny, right? It seems that for all the conspiracy talk, it certainly seems to have been validated over the last 8 months or so, hasn't it? So we have CNN.com reports this. There is no getting back to normal, experts say. The sooner we accept that, the better. The better. That's right. It's there's no normal anymore, guys. There's only the new normal. There's no old normal. There's the new normal. And CNN, the most trusted source of news, says so. So we have to believe them, right? So here we go. Let's read a little bit of this. As 2020 slides into and probably infects 2021, try to take heart in one discomforting fact. Things are most likely never going back to normal. It has become a well-worn phrase our politicians, officials, experts, even family like to lean on, an ultimate elusive prize. Perhaps it's nostalgia for the... Stop these people and their crap. Five, we are slowly changing... Okay, I'm not going to read this. This is garbage. Okay, anyway, sometimes you read these articles, and it's good. This is an analysis by Nick Patton Walsh from CNN. Well, let's see. Maybe there's a... I'm gonna restart this. Maybe there's a video we can watch that's better than this. No, it's Sanjay Gupta. He's not any better. Okay, never mind. Anyway, we'll just go with the headline because the article itself is kind of garbage. Hot mess. But there is no getting back to normal, experts say. The sooner we accept that, the better. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's the marching orders from the top? What is this? From who owns CNN? Is it that the Zucker? Trying to drop a bad something in there. So marching orders from the top is there is no getting back to normal. The sooner we accept it, the better. And I reject that. I'm sorry. I don't think that's the case. I think that we can get back to normal, and I think that by dropping this type of what would you say? Propaganda out there. You're trying to convince people that it's not possible, and I think that's bullshit. And I think per usual CNN, you're garbage. You're garbage. You are fake news. Full and foremost, 100%, 150% fake news. Since those people out there that love those smart sounding percentages, 150% fake news. CNN. There is no getting back to normal. They say bullshit. I think we can. I think we can do better than we had normal. And this is garbage. This is garbage, and this is propaganda, and this is brainwash. We talk about this all the time. Words mean something. The cascade of media BS means something, and this is exactly brainwash. Them trying to get us used to the fact that there is a new normal. There is no going back, right? There's only forward. We can't go back to the way things used to be because, well, we have new plans, don't we? The New World Order has plans, and we can't get them. We can't achieve these plans by going backwards. Anyway, after stop my little rant a little bit. Let's see. We got some. Okay, so we'll get to that in a sec. Diane says that president isn't COVID positive. My opinion. We'll talk about that. Like I said, there's a lot of whether you like Trump or not, whatever. None of that really matters at this point because we're talking about the conspiracy surrounding Trump and regarding COVID, and does he have it or does he not? So yeah, there we go. There's a hot take on that. We'll do that. Diane says CNN is a freaking joke. Agreed 100%. Let's see. Tom says agreed. I bet he pretends to die. Oh, dear Lord. What's up with Skinwalker Ranch? There's a lot with Skinwalker Ranch. They're still doing TV series and shit out there, so hopefully we get some more information about that. Ben says CNN is definitely more impartial than Fox Entertainment Channel, a.k.a. News. I think they're equally terrible, to be perfectly honest, if I'm being honest with you. Robert says, if you want real news, go online. There you go. It's, you get knuckleheads like me. Nobody's paying me to say this shit. That's the thing, right? The difference is these propagandists are getting paid to tell you this stuff. So clearly, there's an agenda to be had here, and the way they do it and why they do it and when they do it is no accident. It's all exactly how, like the emperor says, right? Everything is proceeding exactly as I have foreseen. Right? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that situation. That's a Star Wars reference for you non-Star Wars fans, but it's like they know they've got a plan here. There's an agenda. It's not news anymore. It's all BS. So whether you want to say CNN or Fox or one or the other, I'm telling you, they're both garbage. They're both propaganda, and they both have the same damn bosses. And so it's not. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's see. Ben says. Let's see. Tom says Q drops say he'll be gone in 10 days. Holy shit. I hadn't heard that, but I don't follow Q too much because it's maddening because none of that shit ever comes true. But okay. I mean, okay. If you want to talk about that, I'm open to that. Like I don't shut that shit down. I want to hear what you guys think. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. You can get on the show. Again, we can talk about this stuff. This is why we kind of do it in this format so we can talk about these things. I do have that in the news. We'll get to that in just a bit. So we'll get to the Trump and COVID in just a sec. Okay. Ben says saw another UFO in the skies tonight. I can tell the difference from a plane and drone, and what I saw tonight was neither. Nice. Pretty good stuff. They're out there. They're definitely out there. Watch the skies, guys. They're out there. Let's see. I listen to Coast for my news, says Tom. Ooh, Probably better than CNN, but yeah, okay. Hang out, hang tight. We got some news for you. I think we can do a little better than Coast to Coast. All right, here we go. We got this is reported by livescience.com. Check this out. Drop it in the link here. As always, I drop my sources, guys, so you can follow up on me, and you can again, everything I say is sourced, right, in one way or another. And if you want to challenge me on that, I'll go back and find a source that I missed, because I'm telling you, I'm not here just making shit up, because we're talking about the propaganda news cycle, right? We're talking about maybe people that had abduction experiences like Betty and Barney Hill. There's sources for that. Those are the types of things we talk about. So most everything's going to be sourced, and anyway, you'll find all the sources in the YouTube description after the video's over. So here we go. Live Science reports this. Did NASA detect a hint of life on Venus in 1978 and not realize it? What if scientists had started hunting for life on Venus in 1978? Now remember, all this to do, we talked about this quite often, life on other planets, and Mars specifically. We've got the moons of Europa and Enceladus, and there's lots of places, even in this solar system, where life seems likely, okay? Not just probable, it seems likely. And so that's the thing we talk about. That's part of what we do on this show. That's part of the aliens, right? That we talk about aliens here. Now, if you didn't catch the recent news, phosphine on Venus means there's some sort of biological process at work, okay? They found it in the atmosphere, and they're basically saying that they can't figure out another way phosphine would be in the atmosphere of Venus without it being some sort of life cycle, some sort of maybe something down underneath the planet, something in the atmosphere itself. Who knows? They don't know exactly, but they're basically saying that, at this point, it looks like there's some sort of life on Venus. And we talked about this when it hit, right? Venus is a hellscape. It's got 850 degree Fahrenheit temperatures. It's just literally the last place in the solar system anyway you would expect for life to be. And now we're like, oh, by the way, guys, life. Okay, so anyway, they're saying here in this article, what if we noticed this in 78 and just missed it, right? So life on Venus is still a long shot, but there's a reason to take the idea seriously. We already talked about that real quick. On September 14th, a team of scientists made the bombshell announcement of the journal Nature Astronomy. Using telescopes, they detected phosphine, a toxic gas long proposed as a possible sign of alien microbial life in the upper part of the planet's thick atmosphere. Okay, the detection was a landmark in the long hunt for life elsewhere in the solar system, which mostly focused attention on Mars and a few moons orbiting Jupiter and Saturn. Like I said, Enceladus and what was the other one? Europa. Yeah, so anyway, so let's see. The discovery published, blah, blah, we got that. But how did they miss it? Okay, so Pioneer 13 dropped a large probe into the Venus clouds, suspended from a parachute. The probe collected data and beamed it back to Earth as it plummeted towards its robotic death. The LNMS sampled the atmosphere and ran those samples through a mass spectrometry, it's a standard lab technique used to identify unknown chemicals. When scientists first described the LNMS results in the 1970s, they didn't discuss phosphorus-based compounds like phosphine, focusing instead on other chemicals. So when Mogul's team re-examined the LNMS data from Venus's lower and middle clouds, a potential habitable zone on the planet, they found signals that looked a great deal like phosphine, the researchers wrote. The scientists also found definitive evidence for atoms of phosphorus in the atmosphere, which likely came from a heavier gas such as phosphine. So yeah, this is, here we go. The science doing science things and missing huge details they maybe should have caught in 1978. But yeah, so the question is, if they realized it in 1978, would we have aliens on the planet now? Would we be able to have sent the probes to Venus somehow, some way, and got these molecules and were able to actually look for the microbes, the alien microbes? Maybe by now, maybe COVID-19 would have been COVID-1978 from Venus. You never know, right? Maybe it went straight to a lab in China. You never know. You just never know. Just spitballing things here. You never know how things might have changed had we seen Venus differently in 1978. Anyway, interesting. It is cool how we find this information out, years and years and years after the fact. What is this, like 40 years ago? So that's a long-ass time, guys. That's a long-ass time when we're talking about science and the way things move, right? In 1978, they didn't even have cell phones of any sort, right? I don't think at all, right? They probably barely had landline phones. So I don't know. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so you get the point. Here we go. More UFOs. Let's go to the Chicago Tribune. Check this out. We got a few more shout outs here that we'll do shortly, and then we'll move on to this show, or this I don't know why it's got a picture of Charles Barkley. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a sec. All right, this show is live. If you want to be part of it, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. You can find both at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. Okay, a few more shout outs. Let's see. You guys. Robert says, George Norrie sucks. He's no Art Bell, so I stopped listening to Coast to Coast years ago. Yeah, I have to agree. Let's see. Ben says, I haven't seen a UFO since I moved to the city. Obviously, they like to stay under the radar. Diane says, you really have to understand Q to know when their predictions come true, and they do. Okay, all right. Again, I'm open to hearing that. If you guys wanted to educate me on Q, no problem. What's up, Benjamin? Thanks for showing up. Benjamin from Virginia. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. We got who else? Okay. Back to Facebook. What's up? We got Jason. Let's see. Just saw the store. Love it. Jason and Gloria in Livingston, California. Awesome. Thank you. Oh yeah. Regarding the store, the actual, there's a Troubled Minds store. I think that's what they're talking about. I'm not sure what other store we'd be talking about. There's if you want to support the show, there's a Troubled Minds store. Go to troubledminds.org and you can click on shop, I think. And there you go. It'll take you to the stuff. We got Bailey says they're pretending he has COVID and can fake his death. And there will be a cyber attack, power outage, and they can't count our votes due to them being mailed in. Ooh. That's dark. That is dark. That sounds like a New World Order move, doesn't it? The cabal. Brian, what's up on Periscope? Thanks for showing up. How do you think VP debate will play out? I think they'll survive it. I think. I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be a little better than the last one. Let's say that. What's up, Curious Bunny from YouTube? Thanks for showing up. Everybody follow the Curious Bunny on YouTube. Great stuff there. And she says Q is a psyop. Yeah, maybe, right? I think maybe. Bailey says Coast to Coast was taken over with George Norrie. Oh, you think? Yeah, I saw that in the Clyde Lewis chat the other day. They were saying that George Norrie is a gatekeeper of sorts, and they didn't specify or clarify what that means. But I kind of get that they put the stuff on his show that they want to get out, and everything else not. If you don't make his show, there's a reason. Let's see. What's up, Darius Moo? What's up, buddy? Thanks for showing up on. I see you on YouTube there as well. I see you. Yeah, I see you on Facebook. I see you on. Yep, I see you everywhere. Darius is on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for showing up. Let's see. Yeah, there's a store. Yeah, go to troubleminds.org. Click shop on the top, and there's a little. It's just a Teespring thing with some logo type gear. I got some other ideas that are going to go up soon, which should be pretty funny. But there you go. If you want to support the show, you know how to do it. Troubleminds.org. Click the shop on the top. Okay, let's see. Ben says, I say we all go to Area 51 and camp out. Yeah. Why not? Maybe we should have like a yearly event. Ben says, I would love to go to Area 51, but it's a long way from Australia. Yeah. Amen. That's a hell of a drive, dude. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're gonna go and do this one. Now, this is a little bit. I don't know why Charles Barkley is on the front, but this is okay. This is reported by the Chicago Tribune, and UFOs definitely exist, Japanese government spokesman says. Now, remember, we talked about this just last show, how the Japanese spokesperson said that they're actually changing the protocol, that their pilots are now required to report UFOs. But then they said there's no reason for that, really, because they don't think they exist, because they don't have data on UFOs at all. So, so why would they change their protocols is a good question. But now, actually, no, this is an old, never mind. This is old. This is from December 18th, 2007. Okay, but this is actually, I thought this was new. Okay, so, but not only that, so I think this is a good way to go back and look at how some of the reporting is fabricated and bullshit, and how we go in these news cycles, right? So December 18th, 2007, UFOs definitely exist, the Japanese government spokesperson says, right? But then we just did it recently where they did not. They actually said, no, they don't. We don't have any data suggesting they exist, but we're requiring our pilots to actually turn in data when they see these things, right? So this is the problem. This is exactly the problem with what's going on with not just governments, with the way the media reports things, and they think that we have short-term memory, right? They think that because they reported it last week, we completely forgot. But this is exactly why we don't trust these assholes, right? Because it seems like we get the same damn news cycle, right? The same 6-month news cycle regurgitated every 9 months, and then you throw in some other bullshit in there with some NBA playoffs and the Major League Baseball and this or that and the other thing, and there's your news, right? Like there's never anything new except for the agenda. It's always the agenda. It's always the agenda. Anyway, sorry about that. I didn't know this was an old one. I thought it was brand new, and I had a chuckle because I thought it was exactly like a backtrack on what Japan said a couple days ago. but this is 2007. Old. Okay, let's see. John says, "I'm so glad I don't watch TV. I have Netflix and Disney." There you go. Yeah, don't watch TV. It's not going to make you any better. That's for sure. Let's see. Super Vike says, "How about making a coffee mug with the words maybe juice on it?" Yeah, you got it. I'll do that. I was thinking about that. We got a maybe juice mug coming up and some other stuff, some pretty funny masks. I got one of the Troubled Minds masks and it looks pretty good actually. It is made in the USA. It's made in the country you buy it from, so you're not going to be buying China stuff. So take heart in that if you support the store. At least there's that. It's like print on demand, so they'll print it in your local jurisdiction and send it to you. Let's see. Bailey says, why do they have Charles Barkley in their UFO article? Yeah, exactly. I said the same thing. I was like, why is his picture? This makes no sense. Okay, so anyway, some more chat here. Let's see. Did you ever find out what happened to your original co-host? No, Frank. Actually, Frank is okay. I know Frank for a fact is okay. He didn't disappear. There's nothing like that. He just he had other things to do, and so that's the way it is. So I'm still hoping he's out there listening. I'm still hoping he'll come back someday. Maybe call in at least and say hi. But yeah, he's definitely out there. He's okay, but yeah, he's just had other things to do. Yeah. So there you go. Jaw, what's up? Says Mars is next to the moon tonight. Can everyone see it? I've noticed this multiple times. Yeah. Go. It's a great site. Check it out, guys. Go look at the sky. Game Vet says 2 weekends ago I saw a UFO fleet in front of my house. Pics, man. Where's the pics? We need to see it. Darius says something's wrong with the Facebook page for Troubled Minds Radio on my end. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me. And not only that, the reach there is miserable tonight. So there's not very many people on Facebook for whatever reason, and it could be because they're toying with us, right? They're monkeying with the algorithms like they always do. So that stuff doesn't surprise me. You just got to roll with the punches and keep on trucking. Okay, so let's move on to the next. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's get to the elephant in the room. This is from Eric Fingal Ding. All right, now this guy's on Twitter. Here we go. Twitter thread, and so this is talking about Trump with COVID, okay? And so he's a infectious disease specialist apparently, and let's make this full screen. There's the link if you guys want to check it out. So now the question here is, okay, so now this is 22 hours ago. He says, Biden infection risk question, right? So it entirely depends when Trump got infected, because if you guys recall, so 2 days prior to being diagnosed with COVID, he actually was at this debate with the white corpse, or what's his name? Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden, that guy. So he was debating with Joe Biden, and they're maybe he's at 6 feet apart, but they're shouting at the wind and waving their arms, and you can tell they're sweating. So maybe. Here we go. So according to this guy, Eric Fingelding, and I go to him often because he's an epidemiologist, health economist. He is senior fellow at FA scientist, spent 16 years at Harvard, blah, blah, proud Johns Hopkins alum, et cetera, so on, right? So he knows what he's talking about. He's got a little bit of the orange man bad, but, we won't hold that against him. There's lots of people like that, so, that doesn't make them terrible human beings. Okay, so here we go. He says if Trump got it from Hope Hicks in 2 days prior to Wednesday, Trump wouldn't have been able to transmit it to Biden so soon at the debate, unless Trump got it much earlier. Then it gets tricky, right? And so he goes through this entire thread here where he says, worst case scenario, not saying most likely, but if Trump got infected like Hope Hicks from a common source, then both of them could have been infectious at the Tuesday night debate. And it's possible he could have tested negative Tuesday, which he did, but infectious. So right, because we've talked about this quite often, blah, blah. He says, because in the worst case scenario, there's a window of time in which you can be in the incubation time, but infectious, but not positive yet, usually day 5 or after, sometimes day 4, rarely day 3, which would allow the gap in which Trump tests negative Tuesday, but still infectious. So they're saying, so you're saying there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. There's a chance. There's a chance maybe Biden is infected as well. But anyway, what do you guys think? So regardless of again, we try not to do politics here because it's division. It's they want you to hate each other. It's garbage, right? It's literally garbage. So we're not going to talk about the lefty and the righty or any of this other crap. We're going to talk about the conspiracy angle of this, right? So I was thinking, I'm like, all right, well, if let's say that like somebody mentioned in the chat there. Let's say that this is not a true thing. This is a fabricated story, and Trump actually doesn't have the COVID, but they're saying he does for what purpose? What purpose? That's what I want to know. What's the purpose of that? I don't know. That's a hell of a question. I could see how Joe Biden and his camp would be cheering like crazy right now because they're hoping they could say he got it, and now he could just disappear for 3 weeks until the election. Right, that's kind of what they were like praying for the entire time. So I see that as an angle, but I don't know. So you want to go like deep state and like really like crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy here. So did they plant this in Trump's camp somehow during the debate? So I don't know. Or does he not have it at all? And this is a flat out lie for whatever reason. I can't think of a reason. You tell me the reason. Anyway, so again, the elephant in the room, we're not talking politics. We're talking the president has COVID. The president has the pandemic disease, the plague, as they say, the China plague, whatever you want to call it. Okay. The president has it. All right. So now what implications are there for this? Like there's a ton of things here. Let's see. Hold on. I think we have some information about this. But okay, let's see. Let's go back to the chat here. Again, if you have comments on this, what do you think about this? Do you think that it is possible that he has this, or do you think it's some sort of stunt for whatever reason, like some sort of what would you call it? Like election year stunt? I mean, it's October. What is it? The 2nd today? It's October 2nd. So I mean, we have what? This is a month from the election, right? Like 31 days. Like, so, like the timing really couldn't be more perfect for a perfect storm of a conspiracy, right? So you tell me, I don't know. Is this a plant? Is this just a Trump being Trump and just got it because he's a bull in a china shop? Is this the Biden camp spreading around COVID at the I don't know. Like I just started thinking about this and like how this could have been kind of transmitted, and because think about it this way. Now it still happens. Like Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, they all did they're doing their playoffs, right? And so they are tested every single day because they have to keep everybody safe. The second anybody tests positive, they're like whisked away, right? They're gone. They're like removed from the team because they can infect the whole team, right? So like it's the same thing with like the White House and politics. Okay, if you're anywhere near the White House and the president, you have to be tested every freaking day, okay? Or you can't get in there. You have to test negative or you can't get in there. So the thing is with this, you got to wonder with like probably the most stringent protocols probably in the world for COVID, he got it anyway. So that's kind of brings to light the question, like what happened here? Like they say the sources Hope Hicks, right? A longtime advisor, etc. But, she wears a mask all the time, as they've said, and you see her in pictures wearing masks all the time. So like what's actually going on? Is there something nefarious here? Or do you think it's just nothing to see here? I think that's the question. I want to hear your take though. Unless you don't give a shit, that's fine. That's totally fine. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. And what do you think about Trump and COVID? Do you think there's a conspiracy here, or do you think there's something else afoot? I don't really know. Like me, like I just don't. I was talking to my wife about it a little bit earlier, Mrs. Strange, and she's like, nah, I don't believe anything anymore. And it's like, yeah, maybe. It's like like you just. After so much garbage in the media, you just have to shake your head and facepalm and just wonder what we're doing here. So yeah, I mean, this is a little bit weird to me. The timing of this is suspect as hell, and so who knows? Who knows what's really happening? And then, of course, all the sweet lefties pour out their their heartfelt devotion for, like Michael Moore said, the filmmaker said, my thoughts and prayers are with COVID-19. As dark and sick as that is, it's still funny. Okay. All right. Let's see. Got some comments to read. Anyway, what do you guys think? I think the important part is we do this live because I want to know what you think. There's a lot of conspiracy angles you can look at this with, okay? Do you really believe that Trump has it? Do you really believe that Biden might have been at risk here? Do you really believe that whatever? Do you really believe anything that they tell us anymore? I think that's really the question here. And, incubation periods and blah, blah, blah. And then I think more interestingly, I was kind of worrying about this. Or not worrying, like thinking about this and wondering if let's see how they treat the president, right? Like meaning that if let's say he really does have it, and let's say they really have a handle on the way they treat this, maybe it's like bam, bam, he's back to work in like a couple days and everything's fine, right? Assuming he has it. So maybe there is, they've got a handle on a treatment, or maybe he gets worse and this gets ugly, like who knows? I know Boris had it in the UK, and I've heard that he hasn't been the same since. I don't know. I don't live there. I don't get like UK news every day, but that's what I've heard. I've heard that he hasn't been the same since. So who knows? Maybe they got to him in the hospital. I think Penny said that to me. So anyway, something there, something to look at. What do you guys think? Again, that's the most important thing here. 702-957-1037. Give me a call. Join the Discord. We'll put you on the show. You can tell me what you think about this or any of the rest of this. Let's see. Got some good comments here. Benjamin, what's up? Says Facebook stream has been messing up all day. There you go. There you go. So it's not just us, it's everybody. No problem. Facebook, you suck. Benjamin, I want to see proof. I want to see the COVID proof, right? Yeah. Joe says, not like can give him a third heart like they did to Dick Cheney. Well, maybe. We're about to find out. Rachel says October surprise is what I believe. No, so the October surprise was actually that hit. If you look at it, the morning of October 1st was the Melania Trump thing, right? CNN was like, ha ha, we got her talking about immigration, the kids in cages, ah. They're like, ha 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 ha. And then this happened, right? It's almost like they didn't know it was going to happen. I don't know. Maybe it is. Joe says they can appoint Pence and the Boogaloo Boys can come out. There you go. Let them out. Let him out of the cages. The Boogaloo Boys in the cages. Nick says, even if it's true and he does have it, he's going to be fine. 98.6 survival rate, and I've known a handful of people gotten it, and not everyone even showed symptoms of actual sickness. Let's see. Joe says, timing is always suspect, so definitely, I agree. Tom says, what would happen if they both died of COVID? Yeah, that's a hell of a question, isn't it? Let's see. Ben says, the virus picky and who gets infected? Yeah, maybe. That's not what they say, but maybe. That would be the greatest conspiracy of all. It's an alien virus, and it was sent here and genetically modified to only get certain people. Yeah, who knows? Let's see. Yeah, Joe, the last president. Yeah. What was the guy's name? Ingersoll Lockwood, the last president. Yeah. Got some good comments on over there on YouTube that we'll read in just a second, but we got a phone call. So let's take this phone call first, then we'll go to the comments on YouTube. We're talking about Trump and what's happening with what's going on, and do you believe it's real? Do you believe this is whatever's going on? What do you believe about this, and et cetera, so on. So let's go to this phone call, and then we'll keep on moving here. What's up? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Ahiga. It's from Texas.
Ahiga from Texas. What's up, my man? Long time no talk. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Pretty good.
I was watching some videos. On YouTube about this Trump thing going on right now, and apparently, what I gathered was the lady that got on the helicopter already had it, and they allowed her on the helicopter. You probably know who I'm talking about.
That's Hope Hicks, right?
But apparently the FBI is the one that started touching her and everything, and so she ended up having it. So she already had it before she even got on the freaking helicopter.
And then spread it around to Trump and Melania and everybody else after that.
Yeah, I think it was all a set.
Okay, so you think
all set up.
So you think it was a setup? They planted it somehow. They gave it to her just before she got on the helicopter, or sometime just before, and then she got on there, and they did this knowing this. You think it's like the deep state, like the CIA, FBI, something like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you actually believe he does have it as part of the conspiracy angle. It's not about whether they're making this up for publicity or election sympathy or any of the rest of this. You think he's got it, and you think they came after him with it.
I believe I think it was actually a plan. I mean, the whole entire time. I mean, of course, it's been planned and everything. So how's the better way to do it?
That would make sense, calling it the
They've
plan.
been trying to kill him. They've been trying to kill him and stuff. So I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if we've had any actual shots on his life here, but yeah, I mean, they definitely hate the man. I think that's very clear that the media definitely has a deep hatred for Donald Trump. But I mean, so this wouldn't be the first time. Okay, so let's go. Let's talk about just conspiracy wise. If you say, come on, that's ludicrous, Mike. Like the CIA trying to kill a president, right? Well, let's go back to JFK. I mean, there's actual CIA links to Lee Harvey Oswald, right? And so, yeah, I mean, that's still up in the air, right? It's still, there's a reason why they wouldn't release all the rest of the JFK files. Remember that? Trump tried to, and then what's his name? The CIA guy now.
Trump tried to get all information out, and they told Trump if he released any of the information, that him and his family was going to be killed.
Okay, so you think that maybe this is part of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many conspiracy angles here because, like I said, just think about it this way. In terms of being probably the most tested place on earth, it's going to be around the White House, right? It's going to be literally, you can't get in there unless you're tested every single day, probably at the crack of dawn, and you have to wait probably a couple hours to get the result. It's not an instant thing, we're not that fast. So I mean, there's literally a protocol in place here. So for him to get it, and definitely something. Any other thoughts on this while we got you on the phone?
Go and watch the Simpsons thing. They ended up predicting that Trump was going to be killed. And you know how the Simpsons been right, like, probably about 80%, 90% of the time. So, I mean, they predicted 9/11. I mean, they predicted a lot of stuff. It's like, so it's like one of those mind controls, of Simpsons things that they do.
Okay. All right. Like I said, that's why we do it open lines. I want to hear what you guys are thinking out there because I can't think of all the tinfoil hat stuff all by myself. I need you guys' help. I appreciate it, man. Anything else for you on the phone?
That's it, Mike.
I appreciate it. Ahiga from Texas.
Buddy. You have a great night, buddy.
You're the best, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. You have a great night, too. Stay safe, you and the family.
Good night.
Thanks, man.
You too.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so
we will.
There you go. Simple as that, guys. You can call up and get on the show. You dial this phone number, 702-957-1037. We'll put you right on the show. Tell me what you think. We're talking about Donald Trump and COVID. Do you think there's some sort of conspiracy, or do you think it's just a Trump in a China shop, bull in a China shop? Trump and a China virus. I cracked myself up. We got another call. We're going to go to this phone call. You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Jean, and I'm calling from Livingston, California. First-time caller.
Jean from Livingston. Thanks for calling. How you doing tonight?
Good. I have a couple of different thoughts on this. It's kind of crazy, but what if he felt that he might lose? And what if he thought he might lose, and then what would happen? He would be prosecuted for all of his ill-conceived crimes that some people think that have happened, and some people don't. I mean, I know it's really split on that, but it's very possible it could be manufactured, or it could be karma. I worked in a hospital for a long time. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I kept seeing that in social media. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, as long as you're not laughing at me.
No, you're good.
But I worked in a hospital for many years, and once this COVID thing hit, he got ventilators to folks, but there wasn't enough personal protective gear. And it was unsafe for the patients. It was unsafe for the nurses. It was unsafe for the doctors. I mean, you don't reuse those sorts of things. And he kept saying, poo-pooing the whole thing, that it wasn't a big deal. And then people started dying at the hospital I worked at. The staff.
Yeah, that's not good.
Good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not good.
Definitly not good. So it's a real thing. This is a scary, dangerous thing. Okay, so conspiracy-wise, though, do you think there's any angle there? Or so what you were saying is that maybe he thinks he's going to lose, and now he's going to magically contract this thing, and he can, maybe, quote, die and bow out of the race and save face? Is that what you're saying?
Whatever. Yeah. Can't do it, disappear from the country, go, maybe he's signing all these papers, who knows, transferring all his accounts, I don't know, buying something in Russia, I don't know, you tell me. But it's because it did cross my mind that might be a possibility.
Okay, fantastic. Like I said, I can't think of them all. I appreciate the help. Anything else while we got you on the phone tonight?
I like the store. It's cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I saw you left a comment there, and if that was you, I don't know. But okay, so there is a store. There's a store up on troubledminds.org if you guys want to check that out. That's what she's talking about. And there we go. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Thank you. And I really do enjoy listening to your show. You're funny.
Thank you. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much for the love. Have a great night.
Right.
That's Gene from Livingston. Thanks for the call. There you go. Look at that.
All right.
There you go. It's as simple as that, guys. You pick up the phone, you dial the number 702-957-1037. We'll put you on the phone. So we got a couple like kind of differing takes on this. All right, Donald Trump. Maybe he's about to lose the election and he knows it. And maybe karma is a situation. Karma's a bitch, right? Maybe, and so he's going to use he's using either this as a way to maybe get out of the election. Who knows, right? Like we never know what the internal polling says. Like I can buy that as a conspiracy. Good take there. Thank you for the call. And then we have Ahiga there calling and saying that he thinks maybe Trump was given the COVID. So, by the CIA or the FBI or somebody in his insider circles. So a couple hot takes. Couple hot takes. Let's see. Yes. Let's see. There you go. Joe says, you know what it takes? Take it easy. More people need to call. There you go. I agree. More people need to call. 702-957-1037. Thank you for the calls so far tonight. You guys have been amazing. And we got time for more. We're talking about Donald Trump, and we're talking about he has the COVID, right? That's the breaking news. That's the elephant in the room. Do you think there's a chance he gave it to Biden? Do you think there's a chance that this is not exactly as they're reporting? Do you think it's worse? Like I've seen people, I've seen the reporting all over the place, right? From verified Twitter accounts and all kinds of crazy shit. I wasn't going to get into all the stuff people were saying because, well, once you do that, then you're TMZ. I mean, I like to think we're like maybe a step ahead of TMZ, but anyway. All right, so if you want to be on the show, 702-957-1037, click the Discord link. Troubledminds.org is the official website. And as Gene stated there, we do have a web shop up. If you guys like the logo, the little alien logo, there's a Penny purchased a shirt, and there you go. There's other stuff. There's sweatshirts, and there's stickers and all kinds of stuff if you're into the show and want to help us out. Okay, so what else do we got? Let's see. We got so many good comments here. Let's see. Yeah, Fred says, yep, gave up on Facebook. Okay, so Facebook is having problems, I guess. So it's not just us, it's everybody. Everybody's having Facebook problems, so that makes sense. So if you guys are having Facebook problems, guys, we are streaming on other services there. Go to troubledminds.org. There's different links on the top you can click at. We're streaming on all that stuff, so except for SoundCloud, of course, but streaming everywhere. If YouTube's probably the number 2 you want to go to. If Facebook is stuttering and doing all the things it's not supposed to be doing. So anyway, just FYI, Facebook and the censors that are inevitably going to try and take me down for trying to run people off the platform. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying your platform is shit right now, and it's stuttering and stammering, and people are complaining about it. So go to YouTube as a backup. If you guys don't, you're not getting the live stream on Facebook like you should. Okay, so again, we're talking about Donald Trump. What do you think? And so what about outcomes? What about the outcomes of this? Do you think that this is going to be just kind of in and out, and he's, like I said, he's back to work in a couple days and there's no problem? Or do you think this is going to be something really, really bad? Really bad. I think that's the question. Let's see. Let's see. Ben says maybe one of those 5G towers got to him. Robert says Trump is trying to listen to Biden. Maybe, or I don't think anybody's listening to Biden at this point. Philip, what's up? Philip on from Oregon says, well, good. It's about time you told us Frank's been okay. You done had me worried for the past 5 months. It would have been good to hear him back on the show. Well, I literally don't know where he's at, what he's been up to. Okay, I don't know. That stuff I don't know, but I do know that he's okay. So that's really all I know. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. Bailey says in February they were saying the window of time was 6 to 20 days. Can they make up their minds about anything about COVID? Yeah, of course not. They can't. That's the problem here. Like every single day there's something new reported. The media is all over the place. Academia is all over the place. The government's all over the place. And that's exactly what we've always been talking about, right? Like how literally, if things are as easy as they try and make it sound, then it's an easy game, isn't it? But it's not. It's not an easy game, and they're trying to keep the illusion that it's an easy game. The world is a very complex place, guys. I mean, look at this. Like whether this is made in a lab or not, right? Whether you want to believe that or not, whether this is as deadly as they say or not, whether a mask helps or not, whether they have a treatment or not, and all of those things seem to change every damn day. So yeah, you tell me. It's not an easy game. This is not an easy game. So, but their job is as the establishment is to make it seem like everything's under control, right? But the fact of the matter is nothing's under control. Everything's like a shit show of corruption and chaos, and that's reality. They just can't make it seem like that. Oh boy. Let's see. What else do we got? Bailey says, this dude's in on the psyop, yo. All in on the psyop. I don't want to sound cliche, but that's what they want you to think. So they want us to think. I think that was when Ahiga called that they want us to think that they gave it to Trump somehow, right? Is that what you're saying? Anyway, if you guys want to be on the show, Discord should be working. Phone's definitely working. We had a few great calls already tonight. 702-957-1037. If you're tired of talking about Trump and COVID, no problem. We can move on. We got plenty more news than that. But it definitely is the elephant in the room, isn't it? It's the thing that it's again maybe this year made everybody a conspiracy theorist with Jeffrey Epstein killed himself or did not kill himself. And maybe this is part 2 of that chapter. Chapter 2 of the conspiracy book that turns everybody into conspiracy theorist. Trump gets COVID 1 month from the election. I laugh only because it's so morbid. All right, here we go. Let's go to this. Let's go to some more morbid news. Speaking of this, let's see. Oh, and we got another great comment. Bailey says this, and I couldn't agree more. The whole idea that the left and right aren't working for the same people to control us within a domain of argument that they define as the real conspiracy. And that right there is exactly it. Like I said, everything seems to be that they allow the left and right argument, okay? But notice they frame the arguments. And people like us that try and think for ourselves and think outside of their argument box, we are the ones that are labeled conspiracy theorists. We're domestic terrorists. We're dangerous because we don't buy the Sean Hannity, Don Lemon narratives. You understand? Like that's what's actually going on here. Bailey's got it. I think that right there is the real conspiracy. Like the major, largest, biggest conspiracy that, and like I said before, that everything's a giant shit show and they're trying to make it seem like it's not. Because of course it would undermine the process, right? It would undermine their process. So, okay. Anyway, fantastic comments, guys. Fantastic calls. Thanks for all that. And let's see, what else do we got? John says that would be a poetic sign of the times if both the candidates dropped dead the week of the election. There you go. There you go. Morbid and funny. Brian, yes, to expose the evil hate on the left, and yes, move on. Okay. All right, we're moving on. We're moving on. Here we go. This is reported by the New York Post. The New York Post. Okay. So this is more funny, not funny. More. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Some of you may have seen this. This is depressing, horrible. Florida woman forced to forfeit lotto prize ticket after USPS loses ticket. I was like I saw this and I was like, really? Come on. Is this like another made up bullshit like thing to like smear the USPS because of the mail-in voting and you know what I mean? Like that's where my brain goes immediately. I'm like, come on, is this fake? But apparently there's actually a real person. There's a real person behind this, and this actually happened. So a Florida woman says she was forced to forfeit her lotto prize after the U.S. Postal Service lost her winning ticket in the mail. Sue Burgess of Hernando County said she was thrilled to discover earlier this summer that she snagged $1,000 in the state's second chance lottery game. I was elated. It was like winning $1 million to me, Burgess told the outlet. But at the time, she couldn't claim her winnings at any of the local lottery offices since they were closed due to the pandemic. That's called running bad, guys. That's called running way bad. It continues. She followed the state lottery's instructions and went to the post office to send her ticket via certified mail, the outlet reported. Oh, certified mail even. And they lost that? Burgess said the ticket, however, never made it to the lottery office and the 1 week time frame required to claim the prize. Her tracking information last showed the ticket in transit on August 12th at a Tallahassee post office, WFLA reported. They said, "We have not received this ticket." They said, "No ticket, no prize," said Burgess, whose prize money went to an alternate winner. Wow. That's definitely running bad. Holy shit. Certified mail even. Yeah, I guess you gotta just drive it there yourself, don't you? That sucks. That hella sucks. Okay, anyway, a little bit more, a little lighter there. What's up? Brian says, "I'm from Missouri. Show me." Show me state. Yeah. Show me. I want to see. Okay, here we go. Here's more. This is pretty interesting. I thought this was. We talk about transhumanism and how Elon Musk and plugging in the Neuralink to people's brains and the rest of this. It's I mean, it's a thing. But check it out. Now, cars are getting their own carism, I guess you could call it. Reported by Autoblog.com. Got a car that will fit a Chevy small block? Well, EV West will make it easy to drop in a Tesla motor instead. Look at that. So they're going to be able to convert your old Chevy small block into an electric car using a Tesla motor. What the hell? I'm not really a car guy, so I thought it was cool. Just in the in the cursory, like, oh wow, that's neat. Does it come with the spyware installed and everything, or can you get it without it? That's what I was thinking. I was laughing a little bit, but I don't know what the cost is or any of the rest of this. But it is pretty neat that if you can actually convert like an old Chevy into an actual electric Tesla type vehicle. Anybody think that's cool, or you think this is whatevs? It could be whatevs. Anyway, thoughts on this, thoughts on anything else? 702-957-1037, and we're going to keep on moving here. Speaking of funny news, that I'm not really a big diet guy either. Like, I probably eat as terribly as anybody, or worse even. But I thought this was pretty funny, considering that I like sugar. This was reported by the New York Post. Again, court rules Subway sandwiches too sugary to meet legal definition of bread. The county Supreme Court ruled that the starch used in Subway sandwiches is too sugary to meet the definition of bread, a legal distinction that would have saved the firm some dough. In deciding whether to give the fast food chain a tax break for serving a staple food item, the 5-judge panel ruled that the bread's sugar-to-flour content is roughly 5 times too high to qualify, according to the Irish Independent. For a company to be taxed 0% under the value-added tax of 1972, the weight of sugar and fat in a bread product must not be more than 2% of the total weight of flour in the dough. All right. So, all right. Well, there you go. Taxes, sugar, bread, Subway, and what do we all have in common here? The government, Big Brother, telling us what bread's really supposed to be like, and controlling our tax rates as a result of it. I think this is good. You think this is bad? You think this is stupid? Whatever, it's all good. 702-957-1037. I won't get offended if you think it's stupid. But this is the world we live in, guys. Again, like I said, we're supposed to believe that everything's under control. And I think, for instance, Donald Trump winning the presidency proves that everything's not under control. Everything is not under control. Meaning, just look at the media, the way they freaked out as a result, right? They've been freaking out for 4 straight years as a result of this. Not just that. So then we have this type of stuff where everything's under control, right? Then we have COVID come in. Everything's under control, right? And then it's not. And then it's politicized. And then we're slinging political BS back and forth, lefty-righty stuff, division politics in the time of a damn pandemic. If we can't even put it away for just a little bit this year, then we'll never put it away. Like, they'll never stop. They will never stop. It's always lies. It's always division and it's always hate. And we're stuck in the middle of it trying to figure out what the hell's really going on. So there you go. Joe says they did the same for Pringles. Did they? I didn't hear that. Pringles are delicious. No wonder they have like a... it's all sugar, you say? It's all sugar. Yeah, okay, got some good comments. Supervike says, update on the lottery lady. The Lotto Commission decided to pay her anyhow, so they forked out $1,000. Okay, great. Fantastic. That's a stand up of them. I appreciate the update. Bailey says, wow, that means at least 10% of Subway bread is sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Cut a chunk of their bread into 10 pieces. The entire amount of one of those is sugar. That's messed up. Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of damn sugar. But anyway, like I said, the conspiracy, the Subway conspiracy. All right, here we go. Check this out. Back to aliens for a little bit, or not really aliens, but we're going to go to Area 51. If you guys have seen this or have not seen this, this is pretty neat. This is reported by thedrive.com, which is fantastic. Tyler Rogaway and his crew over there. This is reported as such. Area 51 has a huge new hangar facility that points to a drone swarm future. The Air Force is accelerating its advanced combat drone development efforts, and the facility's unique attributes seem perfect for supporting them. By Tyler Rogaway. This is September 25th, and there's the new hangar. So, as many of you know, there's Area 51 where they say the aliens are. The raid Area 51, that whole bit, very famous place, infamous place, I guess we could say. And they've spotted through satellite images that there is a new hangar that seems to suggest drone swarms, a drone swarm future. So yeah, let's see. For around a year, construction has been underway in a prominent section of the southern ramp area at the base, near where the original A-12 Oxcart hangar still stands. A quartet of more modern hangars that are divided into two separate buildings, with each bay measuring roughly 90 feet wide, that are understood to be known as hangars 20 through 23, has been the recipient of a highly curious series of modifications, says the article. The hangars have stood for decades and are thought to largely serve Air Combat Command tactical aircraft programs, including supporting the F-117 testing for many years. At first, it looked like they were about to be torn down. This didn't end up being the case. Instead, massive enclosures were built over the aprons that flanked the east and west sides of the original drive-through hangars. So, yeah, drone swarms. Does everybody remember that killer drones, killer bots? Remember that? Where they program the facial recognition into the robot, and then they put like the little gun in it, and these things fly around, and they can pick people of particular political affiliations and execute them autonomously. Yeah, drone swarms. So the military seems to be testing or deploying or both drone swarms, and there's a hangar in Area 51 that suggests that. So check out the article. It's a good read. As always, the drive.com is fantastic for this type of stuff. They're always on the tip of what's happening in aerial combat and new war technology, I guess you could say. Pretty good stuff. That's why they call it the war zone. Fantastic, good stuff. Let's see. Robert says, well, the government is mad. We're stuck in the middle with you, Mike. There you go. Jokers and what was it? Jokers on the something me left on the right? I don't know. I forgot how the song goes. What's up, Ahiga says a bird has two wings, the left and the right, but they are both the same. Yeah, exactly, right? Two wings of the same bird, says many people. Like, people that are paying attention, we really understand what's going on here. But this lefty-righty illusion is exactly that. It's kabuki theater. It's a bunch of garbage, and they're all working for the same people, right? The deep state, the people that have been there forever, the unelected officials, the technocrats, the people that work with the governments and other governments and major corporations, the stuff we talk about all the time, right? The stuff, the academia, like there is a true cabal here. And it has nothing to do with elections. It has nothing to do with lefty-righty. It has nothing to do with the politics that we're seeing. But it has everything to do with taking away more freedoms, jacking up taxes. Like, there's definitely a plan. There's a plan. There's a new world order plan, guys. Come on. I mean, come on. Like if you want to tell me I'm wrong on that, I'll listen. But come on. Come on. All right, we got a phone call coming in. We're going to take this, and then we'll keep on trucking. Any thoughts? You guys know what to do. 702-957-1037. click the Discord link. You can find both on troubledminds.org. And again, we have a new store up there. So if you are into the alien logo, I have a mask, which is hilarious. I'm wearing like a COVID mask with like an alien logo right on my face. It's hilarious. So stuff like that. It's up there. It's good. Penny says it's here. It's global Marxism. That's exactly what it is. And yeah, and that's what the governments are doing. That's exactly what they're implementing, right? One step at a time. They're failing so they can say that we failed. So the only thing is the thing we haven't tried yet, which is all this Marxist ideology stuff. So definitely, if you want to talk about that and convince me I'm wrong, I'm open to hearing it. But the evidence seems overwhelming to me. Here we go. We're going to go to the show doesn't start until Joe from Florida is on the line. What's up, Joe from Florida? How you doing, my man? How are you tonight?
I'm okay. I'm all right. What's going on? I'm a little tired. We've been busy at work. Not to make a joke out of it, but we've been really busy at work. It's not all. So far, it's supposedly not COVID related, just people dropping dead. So I guess that keeps my paycheck coming in. But I'm glad everybody's okay. Couple of things, I'm wondering. We're all talking about how he got it. I'm wondering what health insurance he's got. Because I know if I was fucking sick, I'd really have to fucking figure out what hospital I'd go to see what they're going to charge me to stick me with some needles and send me home with hydroxychloroquine or whatever the hell it is.
Phosphine from Venus, in a little bottle.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I just shoved peroxide up my nose. It's not bleach, but that's what I got.
As long as it's not bleach, you're good.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
But,
I agree. I find it interesting too that so even with that debate, right? Again, we don't do politics. I'm not trying to go there, but that they didn't even talk about healthcare really. Like that's has anybody gone to the doctor recently and been given like many thousands of dollars of bills for like nothing that happened? It happened to us. I'm like, what the fuck?
My kid.
Go ahead. Sorry.
My kid's got Crohn's. I mean, that's how I started listening to the show. That's how I found out about you guys. Spent a month in the hospital till they cut out 11 inches of his intestines. But exactly, we said this we probably said this about 2 months ago on the show. It's really convenient for both sides. Because the real issues that affect you and I, once again, are put to the wayside. Really. I mean, what are we arguing about? Supreme Court justice that might turn back abortion? Everybody here has a different opinion on that. I think most of us maybe don't give a shit what the neighbor does, as long as they don't ram it down our fucking throat.
Amen, brother.
That keeps being a motto for all of us listening. You want to have your guns, have your guns. Okay? Let me tell you something. I've learned the lesson with guns. I mean, I was raised around them. My dad had them. My brothers had them. If I looked at them wrong, I got hit. But guess what? You go out looking for ammo, you can't find it. You know what that tells me, though? I'm pretty well protected. Because the percentage of Americans that have guns really haven't done anything stupid with them. It's that small percentage. So as much as I flip-flop or I might be in the middle, I'm firmly on the side of, yes, learn how to get your weapon, learn how to carry your weapon.
Yeah, that's actually...
That's not really what I called for.
Okay. I was going to say real quick, let me just say something about that real fast. So with that in mind, like the rest of the world thinks Americans are insane, right? But for all the guns and ammunition that are out on the streets, you would think it would be the Wild West every day on every corner and every street, right? But it's not. It's really not. Right. Exactly. And that tells you everything you need to know. That the media is lying, right? They're literally lying about what's going on, and it's not like you think it is. So the internationals out there that think we're insane, we're not insane. Trust me, it's not Wild West out here at high noon, 3 p.m., whatever. People shooting at each other, meet you at the bike racks type shit every day. It's not happening. It's not happening. Like there's crime infested areas where shit's happening, and drug things and whatever else, right? But it's not normal. It's not a normal thing. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry, just a quick comment on that.
So here's the other thing. I haven't really followed any of the conspiracy theories, but I've been looking at, you look at the Facebook stream and the mainstream, Yahoo News, whatever the fuck it is out there. And what does strike me as curious, and I just read this now, Kellyanne Conway supposedly has COVID. Now a lot more of the staff has it. What could that mean? Maybe it was an attack. Maybe it was some kind of an attack on their particular side. Or maybe they're all lying about it to cover. If one guy gets sick and maybe our president legitimately has it, maybe everybody else is just showing solidarity. I don't know. There's some kind of a smokescreen in play. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, it definitely. We definitely don't get the information, the raw information. It's always spun and always fabricated, and that's what we get. So that's why we're suspicious, right? Sorry, go ahead.
But at the same time, if he is just sick, because here's my thing. We could argue about this left and right. If he didn't win the popular vote and he won the Electoral College, whether he's sick or not, if you're going to get somebody sick, I don't think maybe you would get them sick. Wouldn't you maybe find out who those electoral voters are? Do we ever really know who the electoral voters are? Aren't those the people that are kind of in the shadows? If you wanted to tilt the election, wouldn't those be the people that you went after quietly?
Yeah, that's a lot of people to go after, though. I mean, that's hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean,
but so what's easier? So what's easier? Maybe go after the president. I'm just grabbing. And then the other thing that kind of bugs me is we're all conspiracy theories, theorists on here, but I don't think we're all totally nuts. I don't think we lose sleep at night. At least I hope most of us they sleep at night. Maybe if you work nights, that's different. But what kind of drives me nuts is a lot of the people in power right now, they are QAnon. They are conspiracy. They believe in the rapture. And those people have been voted into power. And that genuinely fucking scares me. Because they're not trying to look at both sides, maybe like we are. Because we're here arguing about stuff and saying maybe it could be this and maybe it could be that. And then your last article here, a couple of things. Did you see, I could go with this, but looking at the bunker, I would think the future is swarm technology, overwhelming your enemy. I mentioned this before. Too bad we don't have rods from God, those tungsten rods that we could put up in space, and we could just launch them with the detonation of a nuclear bomb without the fallout. And that would be part of the space race. If you had a space force, a legitimate space force, that's the payload that you would privately be putting into space, would be tungsten rods, like ICBMs that could be launched. That's one. And two, you would have remote control drones, and they could be tungsten, so you could literally have flying shrapnel if that could defend certain areas of the country, or at least assets that are valuable.
Yeah. And remember, they just talked about that recently. The guy from the Pentagon came out and he was talking about killer satellites and directed energy weapons and like air superiority platforms. So maybe, like Fred says there on YouTube, he says, "Are you sure we don't? We don't have those already?" Yeah.
And we might, and that's the truth. We might, and who knows if that's something they test. I mean, to do a rod from God, you need gravity. So, when they talk about deflecting an asteroid or something like that, that would be something with propellant. But how would you test that? That's the thing. How would you test some kind of a hypersonic gravity run piece of equipment that's just basically like a lead bullet falling from the sky? How would you test that without your enemies actually knowing about it?
I don't think you can.
Never nuclear.
I don't think you can because we got satellites watching each other. We were speculating that some of the UFOs about 6 months ago were China actually testing those the hypersonic weapons, right? And the way those work is they're launched straight up in a rocket like you would send like something to the moon, but it only goes up so high. Then the rocket breaks apart, and then this heavy thing comes out. You can use as a glider. You can control it and glide and aim and hit a spot, and it's all kinetic energy. So I mean, there's some scary stuff here, and you're right. You can't test that stuff without them knowing. So we know what they know, that we know. I can't say it, but yeah, like there's no secrets here. Like among the military, they know what's going on, and then they're hacking the shit out of each other. They've got spy networks. I mean, they know. They all know what's going on here. They're just trying to spin it so we don't know what's going on here.
Exactly. So the last thing I got for you, I don't know if anybody's seen the commercials. I'll see if I can find them. It was pretty fucking scary. But it was actually mentioned on NPR, of all things. And this could be kind of a scary conspiracy getting into the wrong hands or a scary technology. But did you see the deep fake commercials with Vladimir Putin and the one with Kim Jong-il talking about destroying the democracy within, they had accents, but they were speaking English, and it fucking looked like them. Did you not see those commercials?
I did not.
Deep fakes?
I did not, no. Was it convincing?
If anybody in the audience could find them, look them up and post them. I got to get up for work tomorrow, but I'll hang up and see if I can find them. And it was funny because I always saw the one with Kim Jong-il, but then I'm driving to work this morning and NPR plays. They literally played the audio. The guy had a Russian accent, but he was saying, all I need to do to destroy democracy is make sure you don't go and vote. And the one that was Kim Jong-il I saw, and I thought it was pretty convincing. So when you know that technology is only going to get better. So if you're not convinced now, you're going to be convinced next year.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think we're probably like less than 10 years away from like not ever knowing what's real or fake anymore. You'll be able to completely take an entire cast of characters. Imagine like Don Lemon or Sean Hannity, right? You have them on record, or somebody like me. You have people like us that are like on a microphone all the time, like our voice on record, our inflections, the way we say things for hours and hours and hours, hundreds or thousands of hours. And you could just take that data and just feed it into an algorithm and feed it into an algorithm. And eventually you can make a perfect audio clip of a bunch of bullshit that I never said, or Don Lemon, Hannity, whoever, right? And it's coming. This stuff's coming.
So how about this then? Just like make the connection. You showed that CNN article about life is never going to be the same. So what I find curious is anybody that's listening to the show right now, I don't really care to go out with crowds or anything like that, but how many people that watch TV, and I don't watch much, but when I do, I see people kissing or I see people close, and I'm watching the fucking show, and I got to remind myself that the fucking show is probably a year or two old, because I'm thinking, that guy should be wearing a mask. That guy should be wearing a mask. This one should be doing this. It's not like you're going to get fucking, oh my God, they're having sex. It's not like you need a shot of penicillin because you got gonorrhea. You could fucking die. But I'm watching TV like that in my own paranoid fucking mind. And I'm saying to myself, now you got deep fakes. Maybe you'll never need an actor again. Maybe you can have TV and they're just, doing it on a soundstage. And, they just get some pictures and the computer does the work,
Yeah, well, we'll bring back actors from the past.
That's the future we're living in, and they were all plugged in. I mean, there's a book called Snow Crash I read in science fiction, but everybody was plugged in. And we all know that. We see that on Amazon, on the TV shows now. Again, transhumanism, the singularity, if that comes. Who knows? And I sent you the video on the predictive programming. Not that I expected you to see that, but not predictive programming, but game theory.
Oh, yeah, game theory. Yeah.
On the game theory stuff. And that guy, it was like 2002, I think, on Iran, he seemed pretty accurate. I haven't had time to fast forward to any newer videos or to see if he's done any game theory now. But that is being used for a lot of predictive analysis, and it does come out from time to time. There was one article I read about the 4 outcomes that could happen after the election, and they all had to do with civil war type scenarios inside the country. They did not account for somebody getting sick. So, there's always, the algorithm's not going to be perfect, because there's always going to be an anomaly. And you can argue if that's God or not. We could try to be machines, but if there is a God, that's the anomaly. So, on that note, I'll let you
glitch
go.
in the matrix. I appreciate it, Joe. Stay safe out there, you and the family. Prayers, frequencies, vibrations, etc., so on. Thanks for the call. You're the best, man.
Yeah, thanks for putting up with me, guys. I'll see if I can find that video and post them.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Joe. There you go. Joe from Florida. Now the show can start. The show can begin now that Joe is called. Thanks for all the great calls tonight, guys. If anybody else wants to be part of the show, you have comments on any of this stuff, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. You can find both the phone number and the Discord on the official website, troubledminds.org, and the store, if I haven't mentioned it enough tonight. Okay, so here we go. What's up, Kelly? Thanks for showing up. Kelly says, if they won't let us dream, we won't let them sleep. That's a good one. Good evening, peeps. How you doing? What else do we got? Okay, I think everybody else caught up. Let's see. Bailey, this is a good comment from Bailey a ways back. If we had a real presidential candidate, they'd be asking why we've been in a state of emergency since 1972 or a state of war since 2001. If it's an emergency, wouldn't it not be solved in 50 years? Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. That's exactly right. And because it's about furthering the power of the establishment. That's what it's about. Again, which means taking more power from the people. That's what it means, right? Again, like I said, they're on the same side, guys. Don't be fooled. Don't think that left and right and blue and red and this and that and the things they tell you, that is their conversation. That's the way they frame the world. The world does not run like that. We choose how the world runs, and there's way more of us than there'll ever be of them. And so it's just about breaking our head out of that lefty-righty paradigm, because you can't. Yeah, like you get stuck in it, and what do you end up? You end up hating your neighbor, hating your family. You hate. Notice, right? Notice how when you hear somebody that's politically opposite of you, how you get angry, right? It's like a guttural feeling. You're just so mad. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's all planned. It's all part. It's all part. Let's see. What else do we got? There you go. Joe linked the thing in the chat here. I'm gonna see if I can bump it over to YouTube so everybody can see. But yeah. So basically, we're at a crossroads, aren't we? We know the government wants it. We know they're going to work hard to take it away from us. And so the question is, how hard do they have to work to get it away from us? That's the question. Okay, here we go. Here's a deep fake of Vladimir Putin. Let's play this. This is what Joe just sent over right now. I will link the YouTube video into... What's up, Darius? Moo? I see you, buddy. Here you go. There's a deep fake of Vladimir Putin and I guess Kim Jong-un, I guess. Let's play this. And find out. Sent from Joe, thank you, who just called. Action.
America, you blame me for interfering with your democracy, but I don't have to. You are doing it to yourselves. Polling stations are closing. You don't know who to trust. You are divided. There are strings we can pull, but we don't have to. You are pulling them for us.
Oh, there you go. Democracy lives or dies with you, right? You keep hearing this stuff, right? This is the most important election of your life, right? Except for the last one, and except for the next one. It is the most important election of your life, right? You keep hearing this. This is exactly what you keep hearing. This is propaganda, guys. This is propaganda. Anyway, all right, where are we at time-wise? We're going to get to Palantir in just a sec. We're going to play a 2-minute commercial. Everybody take a 2-minute break. Go ahead and hit the restroom, stretch your legs, get some, top up your drink or get some ice, grab a new beer. Whatever you're doing out there, make sure it's legal. Make sure you're safe. And, Bailey says deepfakes still don't look real. That's close. It was pretty close. I think the still shots look very close, but yeah, I think the way the mouth moves and stuff are just still a little bit off, but it's close. It's definitely close. But okay, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We're going to be back and we'll talk about Palantir. Now, Palantir is the next level of Big Brother. Palantir is a company that just went public. It had a public offering on the stock. I think all the stock exchanges. I don't know exactly how that shit works, but We'll talk about that and read some of the articles regarding and hear what some of the people have to say. Palantir is created by Peter Thiel, and it's the next level of the surveillance state. So stay tuned for that. Quick commercial. We will be right back after the message from our sponsor.
Are you enjoying the conversation? Do you like talking about all things aliens, conspiracy, and paranormal? Well, if so, thank you. And also, we need your help. As you are probably aware, the technocracy, the government, major corporations, and anybody with a ton of money needs to control the narrative. Otherwise, they cannot control your mind. And as a result, free speech, independent thought has become the devil, the opposition. And of course, anybody that knows anything realizes that notion is absurd. The individual decides what they want for themselves, not from the collective. And pay attention to the media, and ask yourself, which are they telling you to prefer? Now, I ask for help. The way you can help this conversation continue is by spreading the word. And it's really easy. You can spend just a few seconds of your time. Go to troubledminds.org, that's the official website, and find the iTunes link and leave us a review. If you enjoy the conversation, that is the best way you can give back to Troubled Minds and the community that we've worked so hard to build together. Otherwise, the technocracy will continue to stamp us into the ground. They will continue to shadow ban the words we say and the thoughts we think, and this will never end.
Scary. Welcome back. All right, second half of Troubled Minds. We're gonna do Palantir. Okay, so what is Palantir? Let's see. Let's just go straight to the clip and let's hear what Palantir is. Palantir Part 1, action.
After 17 years on the private market, data analytics company Palantir is ready to make its public market debut.
Co-founded by Peter Thiel back in 2003, its mission, providing software that customers use to integrate volumes of data from images to spreadsheets into a central platform where it can then be securely analyzed and interpreted.
News of Palantir's plans to go public, as well as its recent announcement that it will be relocating its headquarters from Palo Alto to Denver, has put the secretive software company in the spotlight. Best known for its work with U.S. government agencies like the CIA, the Department of Defense, and most controversially, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the company was founded following 9/11 with the goal of defending American interests.
The core mission of our company always was to make the West, especially America, the strongest in the world for the sake of global peace and prosperity.
But in recent years, Palantir has also courted customers like Airbus, Chrysler, and BP. Commercial customers now make up about 50% of the company's revenue, a number that's trended upwards over the past decade. And even though Palantir has never turned a profit, revenue has been growing as losses have narrowed.
Perfectly normal for a software company to show that sort of trajectory going into their IPO. The question is, does the economic model over time look like one that will eventually produce profits? And you can certainly get there.
But while longtime investors are eager for the company to go public, for others, confusion remains about what it is exactly that Palantir does, and why their work with law enforcement agencies has raised eyebrows. The name Palantir comes from The Lord of the Rings. In the fantasy series, Palantiri are spherical stones that help powerful users see what is going on in other parts of Middle-earth and communicate with each other. Founded in 2003 by billionaire Peter Thiel alongside current CEO Alex Karp, Joe Lonsdale, Stephen Cohen, and Nathan Gettings, Palantir's tech helps detect unusual or suspicious patterns in large datasets, using techniques that the founders learned working together at PayPal.
Okay, it's a data analytics firm, right? That's what Palantir is. And notice it's named after a Lord of the Rings, which of course is fantasy fiction, but it's basically the Palantiri was a crystal ball, okay? But it was known as a seeing stone. And if my Lord of the Rings lore is correct, now you're knowing what a huge nerd I am, but you already knew, that there were 5 of them, and Saruman, the White Wizard, had one. And he was actually using it to communicate with the Dark Lord. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. But so the point of the Palantiri in the fable here versus what's in real life is that the crystal ball in the old days, in the fiction, is that you could look both ways through these Palantir, okay? But now, the data being collected doesn't go both ways, does it? You're not able to just dial up into Palantir and decide, let's see what kind of data they have on me, right? Because, of course, it's done in secret. It's done behind the closed doors. And that's how these things get done. We don't, there's no money in transparency, right? There's money in propaganda, right? There's money in Big Brother data points. There's money in surveillance. There's no money in the truth. There's no money in transparency. Well, hey, there's Palantir. There's Palantir Part 1 for you. And so that's So it just hit. Like, the reason this is news, the reason we're doing this right now, we've done many surveillance state type shows with different technologies, but this is brand new. It just hit. This has been kind of in the shadows of things, working with the CIA, working with the FBI, working with the NSA, working with government agencies, and now it's just finally hitting a public offering, IPO, right? So now this is the thing. Like, it's hit the news mostly for should you buy Palantir, should you not? Like, I've seen it on a lot of investing sites on whether you should or you shouldn't based on some other things, blah, blah. I mean, I don't see why it's a bad investment. We're talking about they're linked with the freaking government, right? I mean, they're not going to let them go under, are they? So, I mean, the government always wants more data. So, hey, what do you know? Okay, so that's Palantir. And again, Peter Thiel from PayPal and Facebook fame. He's actually starting this data analytics firm, right? You like how they use the terms data analytics? What it means is Big Brother spyware. Here we go. Palantir Part 2.
The CIA was one of the company's earliest investors and its only customer for a number of years. Eventually, other intelligence agencies like the FBI and the NSA jumped aboard, using the company's customized data analytics capabilities to track and capture terrorists, insurgents, and drug smugglers.
They cite Afghanistan and Iraq as two examples of places where soldiers were mapping networks of insurgents and makers of roadside bombs by hand. So they actually were bringing in technology to do things that intelligence agents on the ground were having to do manually in very dangerous places.
The company's software has been credited with helping to find and kill Osama bin Laden. And though this has never been confirmed, Palantir certainly has not disputed it. The techs also helped to uncover Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme and rooted out Chinese spyware installed on the Dalai Lama's computer.
We work hand in hand with most of the special operators in the Western world. We work hand in hand with most of the clandestine services. We're in over 40 countries.
Today, the company increasingly works with high-profile commercial customers too. Its first was JP Morgan Chase, which adopted the software in 2009 to monitor employees who might go rogue. However, the partnership ended in scandal when JP Morgan's special operations lead used it to spy on top executives. Others have continued to express interest, though. Fiat Chrysler now uses Palantir to identify potential faults in car parts. Airbus uses it to respond more quickly to manufacturing problems, accelerating the production of its A350 aircraft. And BP uses it to analyze drilling data, reportedly leading to a 10% increase in oil production in the North Sea.
This is a hefty piece of software that runs across an enterprise and is used for understanding everything that a company faces, whether it's their customers, their supply chains, downtime, geographies where there's growth, where their competitors are gaining share.
As revenue from the commercial sector has increased over the years, CEO Alex Karp has had to rethink his historical dismissal of salespeople.
We don't look like a classic enterprise software company. We have no salespeople. Almost everyone here is an engineer.
Not anymore. Karp's been building out a sales team, and in 2019, the company spent 61% of its revenue on sales and marketing.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Maybe you can buy like a personal camera and set it up on your block and dial it into Palantir and know when your neighbors are going to, maybe sneak out and buy something illegal. Or maybe find out who the drug dealer on the block is. This is what I mean, right? This is there we go. Bailey's got a great comment here regarding Palantir. It's the Minority Report system minus the psychics. And that's exactly it, right? We talk about Big Brother. We talk about big data all the time. How our phones and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Google and all the different pieces of the technocracy, right? They're all trying to get more data on you, because the more data they get on you, the more valuable it is to advertisers, right? That's the monetary angle. However, think about the privacy implications of exactly that. So now the old school way is Google and Facebook and these guys. Now Palantir is the next level of this. And this is exactly, notice they said it can take spreadsheets, it can take photographs, it can take whatever it is. It has presumably videos at this point. It's been in operation for 10 years. They put all this data in, and so they have disparate data sources and connections, and it's able to connect them all and then be able to what? Like read the damn mind of the world, of you, of whatever, like whatever's going on. This is crazy, scary stuff. Here we go. I'm going to put up their website here. Here we go. No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. All right, let's put up their website. This is their actual website, Palantir.com, and this is where it comes from. This is where you guys can get into this and maybe privately get into your own spyware game. I don't know. Like I'm not sure if it's gonna work on that scale, but hey, if it can work on a large scale, it can work on a small scale, right? So here we go. This is again. What's up? I see Diane. Thanks for showing up. Derek, thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. Bailey says they hire dumb engineers to make dumb AI that makes dumb decisions, including intentionally dumb decisions, which are a lot harder to deal with when humans have liability of their consequences. And I think therein lies the danger of AI, right? The real danger of AI. Humans misusing it, humans misprogramming it, and the implications thereof. So, and everything that comes out of that. Okay, so here we go. What Williams says: Google plus Palantir equals Skynet, and I think that's pretty right. I think that's pretty spot on. Very much a Minority Report, just like Bailey was saying as well. Okay, so with that, here we go. So there's the actual website, Palantir.com. We're going to go to this BuzzFeed News in just a sec. Actually, let's do that. Let's look at this. So the headline here, BuzzFeed News. This is brand new because this is hitting the news because of their IPO. Okay, initial public offering. Scars, tattoos, and license plates. This is what Palantir and the LAPD know about you. LAPD being the Los Angeles Police Department. For those of you that aren't stateside and don't understand what LAPD would mean. Though Hollywood probably has you covered. Here we go. Ahead of its September 30th public listing, Palantir, a secretive data analytics company with ties to the defense and intelligence communities, has been touting itself as a tool that can target terrorists and keep soldiers safe. Right? Look at that. Listen to that. It can target terrorists and keep soldiers safe, in quotes. With an expected valuation of about $22 billion, it will become one of the biggest surveillance companies in the world. Think about how many large surveillance companies there already are in the world. It's going to become one of the biggest. Palantir promises that where technological infrastructure has failed, it can create clarity and order. But to deliver, its software needs data. Lots of it. Yeah. Now, two never-before-seen documents, the intermediate course and advanced course training manuals, reveal how the Los Angeles Police has taught its officers to use Palantir Gotham, one of the most controversial and powerful law enforcement tools in the world. And we'll get to that in the rest of this. Let's see. So we'll continue this. Let me play part 3 of this Palantir, and I think this is CBS that did this. I'll link the video as I always do with the source of this. But here we go. Part 3 of Palantir. Now again, Big Brother on steroids is what this is, and it's so Big Brother that we don't even really have a full scope of what this thing is capable of yet, except all the big honchos with all the money are jumping in because it's so valuable, right? So here we go, part 3, and then we'll get back to that article and talk more about Palantir action.
However, long-standing government contracts remain integral to the company's revenue as well as its reputation. And during the coronavirus crisis, Palantir has formed a number of new partnerships too, with the VA, the National Institutes of Health, and Britain's National Health Service, helping these agencies, as well as the CDC, to track the spread of the virus and allocate resources.
In order to make decisions right now, in order to know where the PPEs need to go, in order to know when and where you're going to reopen, you want all the analytical models, all the pieces of information all in one place. Palantir is really designed to thrive in a crisis.
But especially under the Trump administration, the company's work with ICE and police departments has raised considerable concern in the liberal-leaning Silicon Valley, leading Palantir to double down on its commitment to law enforcement and national defense.
So I do think this idea of nationalism and libertarianism is kind of intersecting in a very interesting way, and Palantir seems to represent all of that.
Protests against Palantir first gained traction in 2018, primarily in response to the company's contracts with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which are worth up to $92 million. The agency has cracked down on illegal immigration through workplace raids and separating families at the border.
My house has been protested for many months, almost every day. Our office has been protested. Many Palantirians protested against it internally. Some people were so upset by it that they left. These are very hard decisions.
Co-founder and board member Peter Thiel is probably President Trump's most famous Silicon Valley backer, donating $1.25 million to his 2016 campaign. Karp's politics differ, but he says that Palantir remains fully committed to aiding the U.S. government.
I've never stopped being critical of this administration. I'm not planning to vote for this administration. So there are things I do differently. The core issue, though, is who decides. The small island in Silicon Valley that would love to decide what you eat, how you eat, and monetize all your data should not decide who lives in your country and on what conditions. There are elections, there are rules, they should be enforced.
Karp's ethos also holds true for Palantir's work with police departments from New York City to Los Angeles, New Orleans, and Chicago, who have used the tech for surveillance of criminal suspects and predictive policing, a tactic that civil liberties groups say leads to over-policing of minority neighborhoods.
Notice though, okay, so now this is the craziest part. I wonder why it's fine. Like, it's fine. Nobody gives a shit, right? Until you frame it in the political discourse, right? Once you do that, once you're like, oh, ICE and immigration, then people freak the fuck out, right? Once you're like, oh, we're over policing minority communities, people freak the fuck out, right? Because, but what about like literally Skynet? Like literally Minority Report is what we're talking about here. We're not talking about just particular parts of the civilization. We're talking about all of the civilization, and nobody's freaking the fuck out about it. So why? Like, what the hell's going on here? Now, so not only that, right? So notice that that was the CEO, the co-founder with Peter Thiel was the guy speaking there. And so he sounds like a politician, right? He's like, whatever, Trump, whatever, a bunch of assholes. I'm not voting for them, but we still have we still have a country to protect, right? We still have things we have to do, and that's what we're committed to, right? He sounds like he's running for president, doesn't he? Like, he sounds like he should have been up at the debates with those two guys. I mean, come on. So what happens? So just pause at this. Think about this. We already have the people's phones, right? With the digital everything, keeping track of every single thing we do. Okay. Now, when this thing gets out in the real world, now the question is, how is this deployed, right? Like, that's the question. Like, how is this done? Where do they get these disparate data points, as they said? Where do they come from? You know where they come from? Yeah, they come from cameras. Have you ever pulled up to a stoplight and saw, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 cameras on like one intersection? Yeah. You know what that is? Those aren't red light cameras, right? Sometimes, in some cases, some jurisdictions, they have them. But how come they have cameras everywhere where there are no red light camera things going on? What's going on? What is that? That's what this is, right? The previous iteration of this, like from a decade ago, I believe was called, I can't remember the name. It'll come to me. Something trap. But anyway, like this is exactly it. So they deploy cameras, right? What are they doing? Facial recognition, right? They're getting patterns. They know when you're commuting. They know where you're going. They know if you divert from your pattern, right? Because this is the disparate data points, right? They know if you're driving a different car than you normally do. They know what's going on here, right? They know if you stopped to get Jack in the Box on the way home, right? They know if you eat too much junk food. They know if you drink too much beer. Like, what's going on with this, right? It's freaking me out, right? Not only is it none of their damn business, we're talking about these guys are working with the governments, right? The alphabet soup institutions, FBI, CIA, NSA. They're working with these guys and local law enforcement. Okay, so now you tell me. So this thing is supposed to decide from disparate sources of data when there's an anomalous something going on. And so they're able to know, right? They're able to predict when something bad's going to happen, okay? Now, is that not terrifying to you? You know how they know that? They know that by knowing where you should be at all times, and if you deviate from that, it flags the algorithm. That's how they know that. Now, is nobody worried about that? If we can't frame this in ICE and immigration, or we can't say it's minority neighborhoods, nobody gives a shit? Are you kidding me? Does this not affect all of us people? Like, this is what I'm saying. This is why it's dangerous to allow the left and right to control the conversations, because they don't give a shit, right? They're fighting over whatever they're fighting over. The $1 trillion budget. That's what they're fighting over. Control of the $1 trillion budget. Okay. The rest of us, they could give a shit about. I think it's obvious. Here. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. Okay. So let's go part 4 of the Palantir, but that's how this is deployed. Cameras, disparate data points, not just spreadsheets, locations, photographs, video. We're talking facial recognition, and this all goes into one big database, right? That's how they find the terrorists. By getting in the middle of your shit all day, every day, 24/7. That's how we find the terrorists. Anybody have a problem with that? I do. Part 4 action.
But can Palantir really claim to be above the political fray?
I understand the desire to be neutral and to kind of say, hey, we're going to play by the rules. That is a logically coherent stance if companies are also neutral with regard to who makes the laws. But hold on, if you're willing to back political factions with your own money, you can't say, well, in this aspect of our business, we do influence policy and politics, but over here, we are politically neutral. It doesn't work that way.
Other tech companies, like Google, have backed out of controversial contracts with the Defense Department. But Palantir sees that as an abdication of responsibility.
Peter and I built a very patriotic company. Google's clearly not a patriotic company.
Karp also hit back against the culture of the Valley in the company's S-1 filing to go public.
Here's what he had to say. The engineering elite of Silicon Valley may know more than most about building software, but they do not know more about how society should be organized.
Okay, my thing's taking a shit here. I should have restarted it. I stretched my legs on the commercial. This is my fault. This is all my fault. Hang my head in shame. No, okay. We got some great comments as I restart this. We're going to play that. But notice they're trying to say they're above the political fray, right? This Palantir situation is outside of politics, right? Because we don't give a shit if you're a lefty or you're righty or you're brown or you're white or you're straight or you're gay or you're rich or you're poor. We don't give a shit. We just want to know what you're doing every minute of every day. We treat everybody equally. Right? Right. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna reboot this and we'll play the rest of that. Sorry about that. I completely forget because I'm a moron. I have this thing all planned out and then, it just, human things happen. Human things. Okay, let's see. Let's read some chat while we wait for this thing to go. Now, Bailey has a fantastic point on YouTube. Bailey says, pair the target terrorists with the fact that conspiracy theorists are now defined as terrorists because apparently free speech doesn't matter anymore. And that's exactly the point here. That's exactly, Bailey is getting literally just boiling everything down to the single point tonight. Thank you. Great commentary. Now this is the thing. That's exactly it. So as the definition of a terrorist changes, okay, based on politics, all right? So is it uncomfortable for the government, for people like me, people like you, to be seeking out these types of questions and wondering what the real answers are? Like, is it uncomfortable for them? Yes. And it should be, right? Except what happens when it becomes too uncomfortable for them? And they change what a terrorist actually is, right? There's been a lot said about Trump labeling Antifa a terrorist organization, right? And so everybody thinks that if they're against Trump, they're like a terrorist now. No, that's not the case. But you see what's happening. You see what can happen, right? With like the stroke of a pen, an executive order, which they continue to put more power into the executive branch. We have an executive order that could just suddenly, bam, this group of people, that group of people, terrorists, right? And again, I can't state this enough. I do this a lot, and it's the truth. Convince me otherwise. What they agree on, the left and right, is they agree that they hate us. They hate people that see outside of their left-right paradigms. They hate people that expect more of them. They hate people that want to ask questions they don't want to answer. And what happens? What happens with that? Yeah, domestic terrorist, right? Agent provocateur, right? There's many terms. Like, these are the types of things that can be, with one stroke of a pen overnight, changed. And suddenly, where you never broke a law, you are now a criminal. Do you understand? There's a lot at stake here. And again, lefty-righty division politics is not going to get this done. Like, this is the type of stuff we need to keep our eyeballs on. Fantastic stuff here. Okay, let's go. Let's go back to this. We got Larry. What's up? There's Larry. What's up, Larry? Thanks for showing up tonight. Okay, let's see. Ben says, people don't know what they have till it's gone, but then it's too late. Amen. Amen. Dude. Yeah. And again, like, division politics is, again, distracting us from this conversation. Okay. Why is this conversation not front and center all the time? In a healthy society, this is the type of conversation we would all agree needs to happen. Okay. This is the conversation that would be had, in my opinion. Clearly I'm biased because I'm thinking it's important, and that's why we're talking about it. But I think there are many others that would if they realized how important the implications were of this. Okay, so definitely crazy good stuff, crazy bad stuff, and we need to be able to parse the difference and speak out if we're uncomfortable with things. Ask questions if we're uncomfortable with things, and it shouldn't make us conspiracy theorists and domestic terrorists as a result. Okay, one more time, we're doing this live. If you guys have comments on this on Big Brother on steroids, the surveillance state like usual. There's a new player in the game. His name is Palantir, and he looks to take disparate data points and figure out the answers. The truth, the digital truth, as it were. All right, let's go back and play that clip now that this is reloaded. It shouldn't stutter and skip anymore. Palantir Part 4 action.
But can Palantir really claim to be above the political fray?
I understand the desire to be neutral and to kind of say, hey, we're going to play by the rules. That is a logically coherent stance if companies are also neutral with regard to who makes the laws. But hold on, if you're willing to back political factions with your own money, you can't say, well, in this aspect of our business, we do influence policy and politics, but over here, we are politically neutral. It doesn't work that way.
Other tech companies, like Google, have backed out of controversial contracts with the Defense Department. But Palantir sees that as an abdication of responsibility.
Peter and I built a very patriotic company. Google's clearly not a patriotic company.
Karp also hit back against the culture of the Valley in the company's S-1 filing to go public.
Here's what he had to say. The engineering elite of Silicon Valley may know more than most about building software, but they do not know more about how society should be organized or what justice requires. Our company was founded in Silicon Valley, but we seem to share fewer and fewer of the technology sector's values and commitments.
In August, the company announced it will move its headquarters to Denver, Colorado, likely both a financially and morally motivated decision.
The Valley is basically sold its soul to an advertising model where it's okay to sell your data, but it's not okay to support the country. And they didn't want to be part of that ecosystem and didn't feel that that ecosystem was aligned with their values.
So what does all this controversy mean for investors? For those who believe in Palantir's mission, it could be an asset. And for those with qualms, well, it ultimately may not mean much.
The general belief around the Valley is that public market investors in particular talk a big game about governance and about things that they view as acceptable and unacceptable, and then they buy the stock anyway.
Though Palantir is yet to turn a profit, this isn't of considerable concern to investors, who are used to betting big on tech companies operating at a loss. What will affect the company's value is whether investors view it more as a high-growth tech company or a lower-margin consulting firm.
That combination makes this a bit of a Rubik's Cube for investors because it's not a pure play software model.
Okay, I don't give a shit about the investing angle on this. I just don't care. I don't give a shit about your investors. I'm sorry. Like, notice they said, well, you know, like it could be unpalatable what they're doing, but investors don't care because they're making money off of it, right? That's the worst part here. Like, you know, the almighty greed. Another great comment by Bailey here says the idea that this is just metadata regarding behavior and not a new means of protected conversation will be used against us. And I couldn't agree more. And I think that's exactly again at the crux of the conversation here. What's going on? So not only do they know every single thing about us already, right? Like every single thing we do digitally is everything we do in the real world. It's behavior. And so they know every single little thing about our behavior now. Okay, based on your smartphone, based on this contact tracing, based on the this and the that and the other things, right? Based on how often you post on Facebook or you don't, or how often you watch YouTube or, you know, whatever. Like it's all there. It's all already there. This is nothing new. We've talked about this often, okay? But now we're talking about putting cameras at every corner in the country, in every country in the world eventually, right? And this is one huge database. And you tell me if that's not too powerful, right? If that's not too powerful a thing, you're like, well, you know, you started a company. Congratulations. What do you do? Oh, I sell slippers. Oh, that's amazing. You know, are they comfortable? Yeah, they're good. You know, they're a good price. Everybody likes them, you know, that's starting a company. No. Okay. That's starting a company. This, right? This is literally starting Skynet. This is taking over every behavioral aspect of everybody as far as this thing can reach. And they'll know when you deviate from your pattern. They'll know that humans are, what would you say? Humans are creatures of habit. And they know. They know when you change your habit. And when you change your habit in just such a way that the algorithm thinks, ooh, it pulls it up and it's in an analyst's face, and they're trying to find out what's going on with you, right? Did you become radicalized overnight? Did you listen to Troubled Minds Radio, and suddenly, instead of a concerned citizen, you are now a domestic terrorist? What happened? You stopped and you got a six-pack on the way home, or you didn't when you normally do. What happened? What's going on in your brain? Yeah, this is Skynet. This is Minority Report. This is exactly what we don't need, and of course, it's being celebrated. it's being thrown across as the next hot thing. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm buying this stock. Woo! Here we go. Part 5 Palantir action.
For most of its history, Palantir has spent heavily on software customization services for both government agencies and large corporations.
It is a very costly business to run, but if they can automate their own processes and have a more efficient sales process and get the biggest customers to continue to buy more, then their operating metrics do improve over time.
As of late, that's what Palantir has been trying to do. And now it offers 2 fixed-fee platforms, Gotham for government clients and Foundry for the private sector. The company's target market is said to be the 6,000 companies that make $500 million or more in revenue.
The average customer spends over $5 million a year on Palantir's product. The top 20 customers account for roughly 2/3 of their revenue. They say they only have about 125 customers. So this is fundamentally different than your Zoom and your Slack. It is not for everyone.
In 2015, when Palantir raised its last funding round, the company's valuation was upwards of $20 billion. But lately, share prices have been all over the map, indicating a valuation range of anywhere from less than $10 billion to over $20 billion.
They're trying to show investors that they do have this really big market opportunity, that they have a bunch of potential customers out there, and that's where the skepticism is.
The true value will be clarified at the end of September when Palantir completes its direct listing, a process that is similar to an IPO, except that the company won't sell any new shares. It will just unleash those held by existing investors. Thus, the shares will be priced based on investor demand, and if the stock trades higher than expected, that value won't be handed to brand new shareholders.
I think the Palantir IPO is going to signal to venture investors and others that serving the Department of Defense and military business is going to be worthwhile.
Karp certainly hopes so, saying that the future of our nation depends on it.
The country with the most important AI, most powerful AI, will determine the rules. That country should be either us or a Western country.
Palantir doesn't do business with China, the U.S.'s main competitor when it comes to AI.
So if we bring our A game, we will win. If we bring our D+ game, because most people in the Valley live on an island where this seems like a questionable project, they will win.
Right. Did you catch all that? There's a lot there. Did you catch all that? Now, from a business perspective, right, if I was Peter Thiel, it would make sense to actually get involved with the U.S. government, right? Because as long as the U.S. government's pumping out trillions and you're on the dole, right, and you're feeding them the data they need, well, it's as smart as you get, right? I mean, you, as long as the United States is pumping money out, you're getting paid, and so until that data becomes what? Monetizable somehow, right? Until they use it as that Minority Report Skynet type of serving ads like Facebook did, that turned them into a juggernaut, into a Skynet Junior or whatever you want to call it. Who knows, right? So this is the scariest thing, is we don't even know what this is capable of yet. We don't even know what this is yet, right? Disparate data points across many systems, one algorithm that can fetch information and bring it before one analyst. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. I laugh. It's not funny. This shit is not funny. My Windows just dropped again. I don't know what I do that makes that happen, but okay. Anyway, we have, here we go. I'm going to put the phone number up as I get these windows back up. 702-957-1037. What do you think about this? Does it make you think that I'm paranoid? Or is there something more to this? Do you wonder why the powers that be, instead of talking about the investing implication of this, is the only thing worth talking about when the implications to humanity regarding this service, this quote service, is just like this is exasperating to me. Like, I can't be the only one who sees this stuff. Come on, right? I'm like I open up the news and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and I read a little more and I'm like, wow, that's fucked up, and then nobody ever, it never hits the mainstream. Nobody in the news ever talks about it. I don't know. You guys are here, so there's something to it, but there's something messed up here. There's definitely something messed up. Let's see. Okay, got it. I see that. Ahiga from Texas. Thank you for the links there. I see it in the chat Discord. Okay, so here's the thing. Are we nuts, guys? You think we're insane, or do you think the rest of the world's insane and we're trying to claw our way out of it? It drives me a little bit batty, all of this, because I just don't know. Some days I think I'm on it, and other days I'm like, relax, Mike, chill out, buddy, chill out. Yeah, it's okay. Here we go. Read some chat. Let's see. John says Skynet moderator equals, what are you hiding, Mr. Strange? And that's exactly right. That's what we're looking at here, right? This is the new service. It's going to serve our government, right? Except it's going to know every single thing about you. And so I'm pretty sure there's a Fourth Amendment thing about unreasonable search and seizure. But hey, if there's cameras on every corner of every neighborhood in the country, then is that an unreasonable search and seizure in regard to law enforcement? Is this not the conversation that Congress needs to be having? Is this not what they should be talking about instead of the bullshit that they talk about every single day? This is the conversation that needs to be had. This is the type of thing the Supreme Court needs to be looking at, not this scaremongering bullshit about this judge or that judge. No, this is what will define the future of humanity. And they're not even having the discussion. They're not having it. What? Does that surprise anybody? Anyway, okay, where are we at? Let's see. We're back. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. What do you think about this? Join the Discord. If you're on the Discord, you can hop in there and get on the show and be on the show that way. And we can talk about this and whatever else you want to talk about. This drives me a little bit nuts, right? So now, okay. What's up, Larry? Says a Zookbot better not be spreading the truth in there. Yeah, right. Not only that. Paul says, I wish my phone would make noise when you're on. Well, there are ways, right? This is what I'm saying. So like many of you probably have notifications turned on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever else we might stream, right? And so the only way to do it is to do it on all of them. Because if you don't, right, Facebook flips one switch, and where there could have been, 100 people watching concurrently for the entire 3 hours, now there's like 10, right? Because Facebook flipped a switch and they're like, nah, we don't like this, right? Like this ran, everything that I've been saying ran through the algorithm. They matched it up with the profit model. They matched it up with the whatever. Now I'm a domestic terrorist, whatever it is, right? And then they flip a switch and you guys don't get a notification. You see the way this works? It's the way this works. Totally. So you got to go to the all the other platforms. That's why we always started it with all the other platforms, because we knew that at some point somebody somewhere along the way would not like the shit we were saying, and they would take us down from this one or that one, and we'd still be on others. So that's it. That's what it. If you wonder why you're missing the notifications, go to all the things, notify all the things. If you have not done it yet, go to Discord. Tell me you missed Discord notifications. Because everybody, I'm pretty sure, still gets Discord notifications. Every time we go live, I put up a notification for everybody on Discord. Join the Discord. Troubleminds.org. Click the Discord link. Leave it on your phone. Actually, I'm gonna make a little video that explains how to turn off notifications, unless you're mentioned. So I'm gonna do that because people don't get the mobile version of Discord anyway. Into the weeds a little bit, but it's part of the problem with why people don't use it, I think. But okay, anyway. John says, I don't know what we are afraid about. Any form of AI will ruin our governments better than the douchebags that are in the government now. I think you're right. Like I said, they're not even having the right conversations. Like they're not even talking about the things they should be talking about. And it's set up to fail. It's completely set up to fail, right? Because if they break it by failing, then they get to remake it. Okay, and how do you think they would remake it? There's the conspiracy. They're just like Bailey was saying earlier. How do they remake it? Once you break this whole MF over your knee and throw it in the fire, how do you remake this system? Of course, right? You don't get like the states together, and you might, but you get people that are bought and sold, right? They're already in the bag. They're already pre-selected, like they pack the courts and whatever this other bullshit they do, right? Just like Yuri Bezmenov said, that you can't once you get them in the system, you're stuck with them. You can't get rid of them. They're indoctrinated. They already have an idea of what they want, and they want to burn it down. And you can't get rid of them until you replace them with a new generation of people. And that's frightening right there. That's frightening, because guess what? We've got a rough 20, 30 years to flip this bitch around, or it's done. It's over, guys. This is over. I believe it. Western culture is over. And I don't just mean culture like, it's a dog whistle for the KKK, Michael Strange. You're a dick. That's not what I said. Freedom, autonomy, right? That's what I said. Western culture is over. That's what I mean. Because they're going to take it from us. Not just gently. It's going to suck. They're going to reach in and they're going to rip it away hard. And they don't give a shit what bleeds. You understand? That's what we're looking at. That's exactly what we're looking at. Got a phone call coming in. We'll take this in just a sec. But this is again, why is nobody talking about this? They're only talking about the investment implications. That's all they're talking about. The investment implications of Palantir. There you go. John says, my Discord notification comes up about 5 minutes before the Facebook notification. But the thing is, right, Facebook is in the censorship business that Discord is not into just yet. They do, okay, but they're not in the speech business yet. So, my opinion, Discord is the way to go. If you guys haven't joined it, it's the way we all get together. For one, there's a lot of information. Actually, there's some really good information there recently, if you haven't read the Discord, regarding the last show even. Regarding the last show, like breaking news. But if you're not in the Discord, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. So that's what I'm saying. You get a Discord notification. They're not in the speech business yet. They're not in the domestic terrorist business yet. The phone call dropped, so I don't know what happened. Call back. I know who you are there, buddy. I know. I saw the caller ID. I saw you, buddy. Call back. But okay. But that's the thing. So join the Discord. Bailey says, I get my notifications. John says, yep, my Discord notification comes before the Facebook notification. So that's the deal, right? You guys have to do multiple places, or some asshole somewhere flips a switch and we disappear, right? You wonder what happened to troubled minds. You're like, wow, like I used to listen to this show months ago and I haven't seen him go live in months. And all the while we've been plugging along, we've been doing it. But you just never got notified that we were live. You see? That's called a shadow ban. And it's on the way. I say enough things to piss off enough of these rich-ass people that it's coming, right? Like, again, they run it through the profitability algorithm. And they go, okay, well, the reach versus what we could get out of this guy versus the shit that he's saying about us. Nah, shut him down, right? That's what happens. That's what's happening. It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. It's only ever been a matter of time. We've said it from the beginning. Let's see. John says, Senator bought 3,000 and would never delete all his emails. Take a couple $1 million in speaking fees from corporations. There you go. Ben says, I couldn't work Discord out. What does that mean? You couldn't work it? Like you couldn't figure it out? Okay, I think that's the thing. Maybe I'll make a video describing how to run video or how to run Discord, because it is. I've seen people use it and they get like everything's notifying all the time and their phone's like blipping all the time and it pisses them off. I'll make a thing to show you how it doesn't have to do that, right? You can only get notified when you want to get notified with particular things. So anyway, got it. I got it. I understand. We'll do that and we'll keep on moving. Okay, so now Palantir, back to Palantir real fast. So Peter Thiel says this, okay, regarding his monstrosity, his his surveillance state monstrosity that he's building. This is what he had to say. Again, Peter Thiel of Facebook fame, PayPal fame, and now Palantir fame. He thinks that to stop terrorism in the future, you're going to need something like Palantir. Let's go, Peter Thiel, talking about 9/11 and Palantir action.
With President Obama launching an offensive to take down the Islamic State and terror threats rising in Europe, Australia, and potentially right here in the United States, could technology be the key to stopping the next major attack? PayPal co-founder and venture capitalist Peter Thiel, the co-founder of another company called Palantir, certainly thinks so. I spoke with Thiel about the technology behind Palantir and whether it could help stop the next 9/11. Take a listen. Do you think that Palantir could stop the next 9/11, or has it already?
Something like Palantir is the key to stopping major terrorist attacks. I don't think we're going to do it by projecting military force throughout the world. I think we will do it by sort of very cleverly uncovering these conspiracies before they come together.
Some have expressed concern that your clients could actually use Palantir to do evil things. Do you worry about that?
There's always a two-edged part to these technologies. You know, technologies are never intrinsically good. There's always a question how they can be used or abused. I do think there are a lot of checks in place in Palantir.
Someone described it as it's kind of like plugging into the Matrix.
You know, one government agency that gave us a bunch of data, and during the demo we discovered a terrorist plot that they had not even suspected existed, and it led them to conclude they had to reclassify all sorts of data as classified.
So would you say that Palantir has helped thwart multiple terrorist plots?
I suspect that's true.
Thiel talks more about Palantir in his brand new book, 0 to 1, Notes on Startups and How to Build the Future, out today. You can hear more of my interview with Peter Thiel tomorrow and see the interview in its entirety coming up on Studio 1.0 in October.
There you go. There you go. He thinks, based on the work they've done with the CIA, the FBI, and the NSA, and this was during the Obama administration, all right? This was at least 4 years ago when they did this interview. He says he thinks Palantir has stopped terrorist attacks already. So, once again, right? What's the definition of a terrorist? Somebody that is dissident to the government, right? Does it have to be a violent way? Or is it just like a try-hard dissident, right? Like maybe you can call me. Like I don't want to burn it down. I think there's ways to fix this, and we could fix this, but nobody's talking about them, right? And so even in that, I wouldn't even call me a revolutionary. I would just say I'm a realist. Like, look what the hell's going on, guys. That's what I do. And nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about the lefty-righty paradigm and the bullshit that they feed us, and cancel this and cancel that. It's horse shit. It is horse shit, and this is exactly why they do it, because they don't want us talking about it. They don't want us thinking about it. They don't want us realizing that they are failing in every facet. And yeah. Anyway, let's see. Joe says if we don't make it, someone else would. Our backs are to the wall. Guys, they're just more tools to be used by faulty humans with good and bad motivations. And you're right there. Now listen to what he said. The other guy, his co-founder, not Peter Thiel, his co-founder there. What's his name? I'll pull up his name in a sec. He said that somebody in the West has to get this. They have to have this, because if we don't have this, and say China does this first. He didn't say China specifically, but you know exactly who he meant. If somebody else gets this technology first, this can be used in disgusting ways. And so that's exactly what's going on here. So, I mean, that comment, you're right. You're right. I mean, like we're in an arms race to totalitarianism, right? That's really where we're headed. And so we're trying to say, well, we have to do it because if we don't, they will. And then if we do it, we'll use it the good way, right? And they won't. They'll use it the bad way. But then we get it, and there's assholes over here, right? That are whatever. They are actual dissidents and Marxists and whatever it is, right? They want to turn this whole system over and upside down. And they will use it in a bad way, right? There are people that are brainwashed, that are politically compromised, and they will, right? They will. They'll use it in a bad way. because they can, because they'll have access to it. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Let's see. What's up? Penny says, I say far worse and I'm still going on her channel. I don't think you're saying anything bad. Yeah, I don't think I am either. But the problem is that it's not up to me, right? It's not up to you. And you're right. You're right. Penny says, I've been showing police beating peaceful protesters, including old people. And I think our channels get away with stuff that monetized channels don't. And you're completely right. You were completely right there. So we're not monetized. And there you go. So they can't make money off us on YouTube. So they kind of don't really care, right? But it also means that they're not going to really pump us into their algorithms to spread the word because they don't have a stake in making money on us. So you see how the algorithms work. And yeah, that's all part of it. Bailey says, Discord's UI is so bad, lots of people have a tough time with it. And you're totally right. Like I wish they had I like the desktop version. I think it's really nice. But I think that the mobile version is a freaking mess. It's an absolute disaster. And so, yeah, anyway, so on and so forth. Let's see. What else? Bailey says, consider the fact that no NSA operation has yet to provide a solution for any terrorist. Not that we know, right? Not that we know. At least, and they'll sometimes throw out an article that says they stopped something, but do we really know? Do we really know? Seems unlikely that a private corporation with a bunch of lesser technology can do any better. And it's meant to work against us, plain and simple. Yeah, I agree. And that's exactly what's going on here. All right, so now part of the problem with... so let's see, how much time do we have? Let's play this. Now remember I pointed out that politically, if you can somehow get political eyes on this, people give a shit, right? You might get a movement behind it because you have these huge masses of people, right? The chattel, as Joe says, I'll say the cattle, right? The sheep, as some call them, or whatever it is, right? The people that literally just go hard left or hard right, and they follow the lines and they do what the party says, and the 1984 guys that are just like, yeah, like. The only thing we're talking about is what the party tells me is worth talking about, right? Which, of course, is ridiculous. Absolutely, utterly absurd. And that's how people think. And because it's hard to think otherwise, right? It's hard. It takes time. It takes effort. You have to go look. You have to go find your own information. You have to see what's really going on. You have to look at things like this. Nobody's talking about Palantir other than, like I said, the investing implications. Okay, now if you get political eyes on it, you might get people interested. Now here's what they were saying about ICE. Okay, now here's ICE. So they said Palantir is helping with illegal immigration and ICE, which is Immigration Customs Enforcement, right? This has made a lot of the rounds the last few years about kids in cages and all this other shit, right? All this stuff they said. Fine, whatever. But listen, my point is that nobody cares unless you frame it from one of these political angles. And then suddenly the bases get all riled up one way or the other. So let's see what they say about how Palantir, they used it to work with ICE. Now, keep in mind, as I play just a couple of 3 clips here, that ICE in particular is immigration enforcement, all right? And so this may trigger you one way or the other, but it's meant to. My point in this entire thing is that we should not be just concerned about subgroups of individuals. We should be concerned about us and everybody. Anyway, here, part 1, ICE action.
The data mining firm Palantir faces backlash over its partnership with ICE. The government agency paid the company $800 million last year. Palantir's services include digital profiling tools, which are reportedly being used to investigate undocumented immigrants and compile evidence against them. Some employees say that those tools are violating the civil liberties of immigrants. Douglas McMillan has been covering the story extensively. He's a corporate accountability reporter for The Washington Post. Douglas, thank you so much for being here with us. Can you tell us more about how Palantir's products are now being used by ICE?
Sure, yeah. Palantir's core technology is all about bringing together disparate sources of data and making it in an easy-to-use dashboard for people in law enforcement and other agencies to quickly find suspects or find patterns in that data. In the case of immigration customs enforcement, ICE agents are now kind of using Palantir's data to profile millions of undocumented immigrants. And while we don't know specifically what role Palantir's tools are being used in things like immigration raids, there is growing evidence that Palantir's software is helping these ICE agents in going about their business in apprehending, arresting, deporting undocumented immigrants, and potentially in some incidents where they've separated families of migrant children.
And we know a portion of Palantir's work involves national security. In fact, it was actually founded using seed money from a CIA business incubator. So why now are employees so upset about its work with ICE?
Sure. Yeah, this is a company. It's 14 years old, and they have a long history of working with the government. They have long-standing contracts with the FBI, CIA. Their growing presence with the Department of Defense, that represents a big business for them. But I think what we're seeing with ICE is there is a portion of their workforce, and they're a company that's based in Silicon Valley, that is concerned about the President Trump's immigration agenda.
Okay, right. So again, politics. If you can't say Orange Man bad and link it to this to call it bad, then it isn't bad, is it? Right? And they swing back and forth. It depends on whatever. Now, I got this article up here at crooksandliars.com. Meet Palantir, a surveillance company founded by Trump crony Thiel to track COVID-19, right? Now, is that why this thing was built? Of course not. Of course not. He said this company's 14 years old, all right? But look how they do this, right? So now Peter Thiel has come out in support of Donald Trump at several different occasions. So of course he's a Trump crony, right? So but again, this is what I'm saying. If you don't spin everything in a political fashion and say Orange Man bad or Orange Man good, then you don't get eyes on it, right? People can't lash out with their 2 minutes of hate from 1984, right? That's exactly what this is. Here we go. Part 2, ICE, and exactly how they're trying to say that. Now, again, let me reiterate. ICE and their immigration enforcement is like a law enforcement type of situation. So take that stateside. Guess what? That's your police, guys. That's our police. Guess what? That's the FBI. That's the CIA. That's the people who are actually enforcing the law on us. And they're using this same Palantir, the same disparate set of data points. ICE Part 2.
And increasingly controversial raids of undocumented immigrants. And I think that we're starting to see a conscience in this company and growing concern among some employees that what they're doing is wrong and that they're providing software and tools to help the president and to help ICE carry out its agenda.
Palantir CEO Alex Karp slammed Google for ending a contract with the Pentagon, saying that tech companies shouldn't be making those decisions and that pulling out of the contract was actually treasonous. How does he justify his company's work with agencies like ICE?
Yeah, well, he's trying to he sees a business opportunity here, and he's trying to position Palantir as one of the few Silicon Valley companies that is super loyal to Washington and loyal to even the most controversial work that the government is doing right now. And I think what you saw in this example that we highlighted in our story in the Washington Post about Google was pulling out of this controversial contract with the Department of Defense. Palantir saw an opportunity to pounce on that and to use that as an example of how this company is not going to proceed with its contracts in Washington. When work with the government becomes controversial among its employees or unpopular among its employees, I think the CEO, Alex Karp, wants to send the message that Palantir is not going to let that impact its decision on who it does business with.
And speaking of who they're doing business with, Palantir's contracts with the government really rose sharply in 2018. There was an $800 million Army contract. But we know that corporate America has been intertwined with politics really for decades. But what makes this partnership with the military different?
Yeah, this is a big breakthrough contract for them. It's the first significant contract of record that includes a line of funding from Congress, and it's also potentially going to be a beachhead for them in winning more large contracts with the Department of Defense. So I think what we're seeing with the company's staunch defense of its controversial ICE contracts is trying to send a signal to Washington that we want to do more work like this, and we deserve to win the biggest contracts, including the ones ahead with the Department of Defense.
Yeah, right? Word salads, government contracts, political slime. Notice what he said in there, that we support the government's most controversial policies, right? And so, of course, he was just saying immigration, right? But notice what happens when the goalposts change. What happens when things change, and things that were controversial are no longer, and other things are more controversial. Anyway, we're going to this phone call. Sorry, I just saw you there. Oh boy, Kelly, you're on Troubled Minds with Mike. What's happening, my man? Kelly from Colorado. How are you?
Oh, how's it going, man? Doing pretty good.
All right. What's on your mind? Have you heard of Palantir?
No, it's actually, I've never heard of Palantir. It's the first time I actually really even heard about it. But listening to the stories that you're talking about and like what you're playing on, you know, the group of videos that you're playing, you know, what I do is I kind of makes my mind think like all that connection, and then if you add 5G and that new Starlink that they just sent up, right? So to me, it's almost kind of sounding like, remember that Batman movie, and they were using all the cell phone connections, and it was used as a high frequency generator.
I don't remember that, but
so he could track down.
I'm following you. Go ahead.
So he could track down the Joker. It's really he said it was really highly controversial because it's like a sonar system. So where 5G, that's why, to me, all this shit that they're adding, all these towers, because these towers got to be like, I mean, that shit's going everywhere. And like, I you know, with my work, I'm in neighborhoods, businesses, man, they're putting that shit everywhere. So, and it's like, I think the tower's got to be every like 10 houses or some shit. So that's supposedly for it to work, you know, make your phone faster or whatever. And now with this Palantir you're talking about, you know, with all the connecting with, you know, your cell phones with, you know, with all the cameras and stuff. And to me, I kind of, you know, thought about when they're bringing out all these new phones, you know, I mean, they're adding new cameras. I mean, why do you need 3 lenses, really? Is it one for Palantir, one for you, and one for the government, or what?
one for China.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one for China. Yeah. No, I mean, you're completely right. And that's exactly where we're at, right? And not only that, so 5G is a fantastic way to put this, because once you create these smart cities with 5G, like literally, like I joke about it, where your refrigerator will, you know, order you some milk, and your toaster will order you some bread because you're out of it. Like, this is the type of level of sophistication they need to know, right, to sell you particular things. But like that may seem like as a luxury and innocuous and whatever, right? Like, oh, you know, it'd be really nice to not have to order my milk when I need it because it'll just come, you know, or whatever. Some guy will bring my groceries and know exactly what I need. No, it's not that. It's that they know what you freaking need all the time, right? It's like wake up. What the hell's going on? And that's the smart city stuff. That's 5G. That's a fantastic point. So not only that, you tie that in with the cameras and then the 5G, and then they know exactly where you're at every minute of the day, but through data points. Yeah, man, this is next level shit. This is Skynet shit. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was kind of getting to, because like, you know, even if it was kind of like that Batman thing, because that's what I'm saying. It has to be used every 10 houses or some shit. That's just those towers are gonna be everywhere, right? So to me, they're gonna use they already got something like that already. So it's kind of like a sonar, you know what I mean? So they can see through buildings. They can see through, you know, without having to have like people on the ground, you know, doing, you know, infrared or something. They're already going to be able to see all through that shit anyway. And then, say, like, if they need to hit you on something, right, they're going to send in their drones. And if you have 5G, you can send that shit forever, right? A drone usually can only go, like, about a mile out. If you have 5G connection everywhere, you can send that shit everywhere. Then you can send in your slaughter bots. You know what I mean? This is some top security bullshit that some of that shit's got to stop. You know, like you're saying, I agree. We need to come together, and enough is enough, man.
And not only that, why is nobody freaking talking about this? Like this is literally, we're leading ourselves into the problem. We're leading ourselves into the slaughter. And it's like, well, how come nobody said anything? Well, how come nobody listened? Like people are saying things. It's just not the political narrative. There's no money behind it. There's no traction behind it. It's not what they want to talk about. And so we don't talk about it. Well, we do, but yeah, this is crazy, right? The world we live in, man. I tell you what.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. What else is on your mind? Did you? I know you came in a little bit late there. How's everything going in your neck of the woods, COVID-wise, and all the rest?
Yeah, man. Just staying busy with work. Just trying to stay up on top of stuff. You know what I mean? Vehicles, whatnot. But yeah, I don't know, man. To me, with everything that's going, to me, like, I look at stuff more of nowadays, like more of a universal thing. You know what I mean? With like planetary, where everything's at, and like, to me, with everything that's happening, especially now with 2020, there's something this planet is being. My opinion is this planet is being tugged on by something. There's something massive tugging not only on this planet, but all the other planets as well. You see these pictures or videos or even stories on with NASA. They talk about Mars is having their volcano plumes blow up, or over in Venus, and you know what I mean. They're saying they could have life on it. Or like Jupiter. Where they're having they're seeing like almost the planets tilting in one direction. That's what it almost seems like to me.
Yeah, like kind of maybe a spiritually coming apart at the seams. Like, right? You can't really describe exactly what or how, but it seems like something like this is definitely underway, right? Maybe the age of Aquarius, or maybe the Mayan calendar. I mean, shit. Like, who knows? Like, it's been an unbelievable batch of years, this year especially. But yeah, I'm with you, man. It seems like something's on the horizon here, and I don't know what. And I'm not the type to be terrified, but it's one of those things where let's say I'm cautiously optimistic that it's a good change, but it just doesn't seem to be.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like, I don't mean to try to do that either. Where like if people some people get frightened or don't want to think about something like that, but who knows what it is? I'm saying more or less like like you're saying, the age of Aquarius. This is the age of knowing. The veil's being pulled back. And this whole thing with Donald Trump that you were talking about earlier, I kind of was just listening to that. I was cleaning carpets, man. My dog has been sick. But anyway, I was listening to that. I don't know, man. To me, that could be a whole ploy. He just suddenly happened to have, catch coronavirus. And this is like after the first debate. No one wants to, after that first one was, to me, it was a pile of shit is what it was. We looked like a laughing stock to the rest of the world with these two clown shoes.
Clown shoes.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Man. They're over there clapping around, stomping around. They're not even making sense. Both of them. And the whole funny thing about it is I was talking with some people at work, is that after that debate, I was telling people, if you did not watch that, if you did watch it, did that not show you that neither party or either government gives a rat's ass about any of us? They were throwing each other's dirt on the board right there.
Yeah.
About everything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like people they were just, I had friends, they're hardcore into Republican, Democrat. I'm listening to both of them man, you guys are blind.
Yeah.
You guys are blind sheep that don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. Again, you're allowing somebody else to prioritize for you. That's all that is. And it not only that, they're doing it without your best interest. So it's exhausting. It's exhausting because you got to get people to realize that's what's happening before they'll even talk to you about it. Otherwise, they're like, you're a fascist. You hate this country. You're like, wait, what? No, that's not what I said. Yeah. You're right, man. You're right. It's sick. Come on, guys. Pull your hair out left and right. They don't care. They don't give a shit about you. They want the $1 trillion budget, and that's all they're fighting for. Yeah.
I'm still I'm still waiting to get paid too, man. When are we gonna get our heroes pay over here?
Yeah, exactly. Like again, right? Like there's people that still haven't got a stimulus from March, right? That's still waiting. Unemployment from March, right? Because government is literally the pace of government. They say it's like glacial. It's like snail. It's terrible. And so again, if they gave a shit about us, they would have dropped everything and they would have done something. But they don't care. They want you to lose your job, right? And then they're like, yeah, well, we got unemployment for you. And then you wait months to get it, right? You're like literally on the teetering on the edge of whatever until the government like extends the eviction moratorium. You know what I mean? Like this is sick. This is a sick world we live in. Don't get me going. Don't get me going, man. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. People, we're the light, right? We're the light. And if you can't be the light, then find somebody that can help you shine your light even brighter. Because if we get more of us, we're gonna like we were saying, the veil's coming up, man.
I hope so.
It's gonna all be. Yeah, I know it is, because it's some stuff where they're not gonna share with us. You know what I mean? What's weird is like, I don't know why mainstream media is not covering all, like, with all this pedophile shit. They're finding out how they're peddling these small children and women and men. There's all this underground shit. It's just, man, I just can't wait. I can't wait till the top heads roll, man.
Hopefully, again, right? Hopefully, that's kind of been like the common man's theme for as long as mankind's been a thing. So, we can hope and we can pray. But I don't know if it's coming, man. Yeah. I have optimism. That's why I do this. Again, I don't think I'm the guy to change the world. I hope someday, somewhere, I can maybe inspire somebody that will inspire somebody that will inspire somebody that might change the world, right? You get enough words out there, enough positive words, and enough people looking in the right direction, and maybe you can change something, Again, this is important. That's why I do it. And again, I know you're with me on that. We're on the same side here. Man, I tell you what, it's tough sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, man, believe me, because, like, I've had friends and, like, family, of course, throughout my whole life, family, but friends is that you're trying to meet. But, it seems like the more I talk with some people, it seems like more people are waking up to the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Yes, they're kind of still stuck in their ways a little bit. I wouldn't say stuck in their ways. They're just kind of uncertain, you know what I mean? Because they're actually, it's like when you very first go down your first rabbit hole and then you just, figure out, like, holy shit, man. And then, you know what it is? And that's like my wife just said, it's fear. The people think it's fear. That's what the government is trying to push on us, that is fear. But fear is a liar. It's bullshit, man. And, when the people say conspiracy theory, it's, you know what? There's a conspiracy, but there's no theory behind that shit. They want us dead. They ain't looking at our health.
No.
They sell you the cancer, and then they want to, they give you the cancer, and then they want to sell you the cure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of people now, there's still, I would say, I'm not trying to put people in classes, but the older folks, the ones that are, the boomers or whatever, but like they're the ones that are like still holding on to that. That's how I feel, because change is coming. It's whether they like to see it or not. Some people, it's going to ruffle their feathers because it's, change is not always pretty. Change is, but change has got to happen. And this is the age of doing it. So I'm sitting back, eating my popcorn.
Yeah, right. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Today was a doozy.
Yeah.
Today was literally a doozy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. And hopefully, this is the problem I have with change. Right? Change is good, okay, but change it exacts a human toll. It really does. So you have a body count. Change has a body count. And it's tough for me to reconcile the two. And be able to try and say that, the change that I want is worth this many people dead. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. I got to believe there's another way.
there is other ways, but the government's got to change. That whole the 30, 40 years of sitting in government, getting rich, going in poor and coming out a millionaire. That shit has got to stop.
Yeah, agreed.
That right there.
Agreed.
Because we got to go into a different direction. It's 2020, man. I mean, it's like, I know it's still only like some of it's, the whole race card 2 thing is like, people think that that's happened so far long ago. But if you really think about it, it was actually just a generation ago where, hardcore in some places where, that racism is still around. I mean, I'm not saying it's everywhere, but that shit's got to end too. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. It's still a thing. Like I've spoken out against those movements because they don't seem to be about that. They seem to be about using minorities for political gain and not giving a shit about minorities. Like, sure, racism exists. It still is today. I've said that 100 times. I'll say it another 100. Like, it is, but holy crap, when we use, the color of people's skin for political gain, get out. Like, it's not.
Even if you do, that's the same thing that, that's exactly what I was going to say too. Cause and then you have like, movements like the Black Lives Movement, right? I understand. I'm down with all that, 'cause I have people of all colors, right? All lives matter. But if, and I try to argue with some people like, okay, Black Lives Matter, the movement itself, okay, it's collected over $1 billion in donations and shit. But yet you have never even heard these people who run in this outfit even send a kid to college, a black kid to college, whether it be male, never
exactly. Why are you not building nice parks in the inner cities? Yeah. Exactly. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just, but still, I understand the movement. The movement itself, police brutality, that was the whole thing about it. But somebody else want to come along and, try to, work on people's fears and their, and the anguish of generations of what's going on. That's fucking bullshit right there. To me, that needs to stop too, because that is another part of racism itself. And they're even using their own people. Like I said, they even send nobody to school. They ain't bought nobody a goddamn apartment.
Nope.
They didn't pay rent for nobody.
Nope.
Nothing.
No, because it's a Marxist overthrow. They've said it. Even on the Black Lives Matter website, they've said they're trained Marxist. They're trying to turn this bitch over. That's what I'm saying. So like the movement is not the same as being against racism. It's not. It is not. They will tell you it is, but it is not. It is not. Like, I agree. I think racism is an ugly thing. It's a product of being human. It's a product of being imperfect, and it sucks. And being imperfect and being human sometimes sucks. That's it, right? That's it. But how do we fix it? You like literally, you get $1 billion in a bank account, and like you said, you don't send any kids to college. you ain't opening up places for people to work. Nothing. You're just raging, burning shit down instead. Get out. Get out of here with that. Yeah. All right. We're going to keep on trucking here. Any final thought, Kelly? I appreciate the call, man. You're the best.
I decided to call in. I haven't called in for a while. Just but there's a few times, man, I've been listening to you, but I've fallen asleep with the phone in my hand, crashed out.
That's okay. That's okay. I understand, man.
I decided to call in tonight and give a little bit of salt to the game. So there you go.
I appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much for the call. God bless you and the wife and the rest of the family, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Thanks, my man. There you go. Kelly from Colorado. Simple as that. See, look at that. Look at that. You call into the show, and I'm nice to you, and we can have a conversation. 702-957-1037. Thanks again, Kelly. Thanks again tonight for all the great calls. A lot of great information. And let's finish up on Palantir. There's some scary stuff here. So let's cut the ICE stuff because it's political. It's a little bit garbagey. It's a little bit again, it doesn't get traction unless they can say, orange man bad or orange man good, because they have to frame every conversation with that. And that's not what every conversation needs to be. It is not. Here's the possible dangers of Palantir, and a few more clips, and then we'll finish this up. Part 1, the dangers and what the future may hold with this. We got some great comments I'll read too. I see you there, Bailey. I see you there, John. Dangers, Part 1, action.
So I'm going to submit this is my new thing, that consciousness is not the threat of AI. The threat of AI is the humans who use AI. Now, you've been talking about this a little bit on Motherboard. There was a piece in Slate this morning that creeped me out. It turns out license plate reading software has gotten so cheap, and it will work with $100 cameras, that it's being installed everywhere. License plate readers, they give an example of a housing complex where people are using it to make sure that, you're not abusing your rental agreement, that they are everywhere. It's about $100 for the software on a $100 camera. Cities, the city I live in, Petaluma, I noticed was putting up cameras on every traffic light, every street light. And I realized they're not valuable if you have to have somebody sitting and watching them. If you've got 400 cameras in a town of 50,000 people, what do you just got 800 officers looking at them? No, you put license plate reading software on it. Yeah. And then if you want to know where Leo was last night, Yeah. Exactly. And this is an example, to me, Palantir is another one. And I'm really interested that you, Caroline, have been able to break through, because Palantir has been almost a legendarily secret company in Silicon Valley. Yeah. Funded by Peter Thiel. Alex Karp is its secretive CEO. And we knew it was some sort of, well, what is it? I don't know what we knew.
Yeah, I guess the best way to describe it is that it's an aggregator. It takes data from all different types of sources, and it organizes it and is able to find connections in ways that, if you're just a regular human analyst, you might not be able to do it. Or if you're just a person with access to 5 different databases and you're looking to use something from there, that's not actionable, just having all this unstructured data. So that's Palantir's role. It organizes it, and it's able to make charts and sort through very sensitive data very easily, as easy as making a search.
Oops, I muted myself. I was pouring a beer. Okay, so you see, right? Easy as making a search. All this aggregated data. It's a data aggregator, she says, all right? And so she's got some actual insider info regarding this, because she got her hands on a document, the document that the police were using and how they were using Palantir. So there we go. Part 2 of the dangers of Palantir and what it means to basically your security, right? Secure to your liberty, right? Security, liberty. Wait, no. Yeah. Part 2, action.
This is what's worrying me about AI. It's not that it's going to become conscious and want to get rid of the humans. It's that there are humans who will be using this. You wrote that 300 California cities, Northern California cities, and I wouldn't be surprised if Petaluma is one of them, are using Palantir. Why did Petaluma put up all those cameras? To gather data. And what are they going to do with the data?
I think the noteworthy thing here... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Yeah. The noteworthy thing here is that I started this whole thing by sending public information requests to individual cities, and almost all of them came back empty. The only one that came back with information was through the NCRIC, the Northern California Regional Intelligence Center. So even if you're a citizen living in one of these cities and you want to find out about it, there's really no way for you to know. Only by filing a public record request to this regional center do you realize, because here's the thing, police officers can request this type of data from the NCRIC, but there's no paper trail for those individual cities, and there's really no transparency for the citizens that are actually living there.
So this is run through the Department of Homeland Security. Do they say it's to cut down on terrorism?
Right. So on their website, they claim that most of their efforts are focused on major drug operations and terrorism operations. But at the same time, they will pretty much investigate anything that a local police department requests help with. And this could be, literally any type of crime. It could be a robbery. It could be a domestic assault. It could be really any type of investigation that a local police department is operating. So this isn't just a let's catch people trying to commit a major act of terrorism. This is, local operations. And this is, they have a massive amount of data on the people that are living in those areas.
On the one hand, I would say, oh, that's good. We're going to be a safer city in Petaluma. By the way, our county is one of the 14 participating Northern California counties in NC.
Oh, we're going to be safer, right? It's always good because we're going to be safer. You sell the safety, less crime. Go ahead. Put the cameras in front of but we got the Ring cameras already. We're watching our neighbor across the street. We're watching anybody who walks their dog by our house. We're watching ourselves come in and out of our own damn house, right? And all this data gets sent. We're not even talking about Ring doorbells, but I'm adding this to the list. All this data gets sent to Amazon servers, right? And then guess what? I will bet you, within a matter of 5 years, they're all going to team up. And Palantir is going to be the tip of the spear, and they're going to team up with Ring Doorbell, and they're going to team up with what's the other guy? Simply Safe, Home Security. And not only are they going to know where you go, which stores you go to, how much time you spend in the house, how much time you spend out the house. They're also going to know how much time you spend in the bathroom. They're also going to know how much time you spend in the kitchen. They're going to know how much time you spend on the couch watching TV. They're going to know how much time you spend beating your dog. Okay, don't beat your dog. That's not my point. It's terrible to beat dogs. Dogs are better than humans. My point is, okay, every single, let's say, objectionable thing that you do, they will know, right? Yeah, they will know. Book it. I'm going to book this down as a prediction, right? The day of 2020 when everything went WTF, could this get any more weird? Donald Trump caught coronavirus today. All right. I'm marking it down on the calendar. Within 5 years, I'm predicting Palantir will sign an agreement with Ring Doorbell and Amazon. And that's that. It's a wrap. And we're putting these things up ourselves, aren't we? We're putting these things up ourselves. Here we go. All right. Dangers of Palantir. A couple more clips. We'll finish this up. Still taking calls if you guys have comments on this. 702-957-1037. You can get on the show, talk to me, and talk to whoever might be listening. You never know who's listening. If you're not sure what I mean by that, join the Discord. There's some interesting stuff in the Discord. You never know who's listening, right? So here we go. Part 3, Dangers of Palantir Action.
Yep. RIC.
There it is.
It's going to be safer. It's going to be safer here.
I think that this is, it sort of reminds me about the arguments that people make with respect to privacy. Like, oh, I have nothing to hide, so I shouldn't have any reason to worry about this, you know?
I don't buy that one. Yeah.
I mean,
if you have nothing to hide, leave the bathroom door open.
I've tried that argument. People don't like that.
There's reason. It's not that you have something to hide. It's not that you're a criminal. It's just that we deserve to live privately.
The risk here is the slippery slope. You mentioned that, why are they installing these cameras in Petaluma? And it doesn't matter why. Once they have the cameras, they can later decide, oh, hey, we have all these cameras. Why don't we do X, Y, Z? So it's really the infrastructure is just another step in a direction. I feel like
we're sliding down this slope.
Well, here's another example. I just wrote a piece for Fast Company about emotion technology in cars, where cars will be able to read your emotions, understand what your mindset is, understand what's happening in the car. This is part of the, self-driving cars are like supercomputers on wheels with all these sensors pointing outward. What we're not talking enough about is the sensors pointing inward at the drivers and everybody else. But what's interesting is that Fictiva is in the lead with this technology of being able to read emotions of drivers, and they're not doing it by installing cameras in cars. They're using the cameras already installed in cars, and they're just tapping into that feed. It's like a after the fact kind of an idea where it's like, well, these high-end cars have cameras. Why don't we just read people's emotions with them? And so this is what's
why do they want the emotions? I mean, I can understand for self-driving vehicles, it's important to know what that other driver is going to do. That doesn't bother me.
Well, the
humans are the big problem with self-driving vehicles.
Well, the biggest thing is this is going to go online before they're fully self-driving. But most urgently, Europe has enacted legislation saying that by 2021, all cars sold in Europe will have to have basic reading function. They'll be able to, they have to tell whether the driver's falling asleep, whether the driver's drunk.
Yeah.
This is a
Cadillac just put that in their CTS for their autopilot feature.
Yes.
Because as you know, same with Tesla, you got to keep your hand on the wheel.
You catch that? Did you catch that? Did you catch that? So not only do we have cameras at every street intersection, all right, we have cameras locked onto our freaking porch with the Ring doorbells. We have cameras in our cars, all right, because they have to know if you're falling asleep at the wheel, right? Because of the, you got to have your hand on the wheel with the Tesla autopilot, this other bullshit, right? So you have to know what's going on every second of your life, because of course you never know when the establishment or the technocracy or whoever the F it is may need that data for something. You never know, right? Every single second of your life. And that's where we're headed with this. I'm telling you, once Palantir becomes a thing, all right, not just what it's becoming. Again, it just initial public offering. It's a thing now, right? It went public. But what the guy said earlier, you get $100 camera and $100 software Palantir, you're part of it. Every single company out there is going to start buying these things up, right? The cars are going to anyway, part 4, the dangers of this surveillance tech. And basically, like, we're literally just throwing away autonomy. We're throwing away your right to a private life. We're throwing away your right to a fair trial. Because how could you ever have a fair trial with every data point of your life tracked? Does that not conflict with the Fourth Amendment? Anybody? Of course it does, right? And then you get bureaucrats, shrugging their shoulders and deciding what is admissible in court and what is not, right? Based on your political stance, because they know everything you do online, they know everything you do out of the house, they know how much time you spend in the bathroom. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Part 4, the dangers of Palantir and where this may lead.
And you have to keep your eyes on the road. It used to be that it was enough to have your hand on the wheel, but Cadillac actually has a camera that sees where you're looking. Yeah. So that if you look down or away from the road, while the autopilot's on, it actually vibrates your seat and then eventually disengages it. To trick it, I had to cover my eyes, but I was too scared to
driving?
Well, that was the thing. I was too scared to actually do that, so I did like this. And I had peered through my fingers, and it did.
What if you wear sunglasses?
Yeah, but exactly. I mean, it does. It's looking at you driving.
Well, the best thing,
and if they were able to get that, and I guess with OnStar, they probably are getting that information.
But I love that technology, because you can be able to look at a store and say, "Is that open?" And they'll know what you're looking at, and it'll say, "Oh, the so and so Starbucks is not open right now."
So, Caroline, you filed a public records request and got the Palantir user manual for cops.
Right. So
wow.
It seems like, yeah, this was a specific user manual that seemed to be designed for cops that were operating in like the West, North California area. And full disclosure, the manual was almost unreadable. It took me several hours to be able to parse all of this through.
Because of jargon?
Because of jargon, because it was just poorly organized. It was poorly worded.
Oh, that's encouraging.
They did not define any of the terms. They just sort of said that the way it was organized was, here's how you make a search. And then they sort of introduced different charting functions.
By the way, this is confidential and proprietary, not for distribution. So please close your eyes.
Another thing boomers say, in my day, we used to go through dumpsters to find that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, so searching for records in Palantir. Start in the graph application. This is the worst. This manual, you're right, Caroline. This is horrible.
It is like unreadable.
Click the gear icon. Oh my God.
Right. I think it's the best way to describe it is in terms of
last cliffhanger. All right, look. You see what's going on here. So then we have this thing that's like a mass surveillance tool. Cops are using it, okay? Clearly, think about 30 years ago, all right? Just 30 years ago. It's not that long ago. It's really not. Most of us were alive then, right? So here's the thing. 30 years ago, if a police officer pulled somebody over. They didn't have a laptop in their car. They couldn't pull you over. They couldn't tap into this Palantir thing. They couldn't find out where you'd been for the last, 2 hours or however long you've been driving around town. They couldn't do any of this shit. All right? They had to take you at your word. Okay? Which, again, is the Fourth Amendment. Unreasonable search and seizure. Right? And you cannot be compelled to testify against yourself. Now, they don't need any of that because they just pull up your license plate. They tap into the Palantir. They know exactly where you've been, exactly the millisecond you were there, and what they could even probably tell you ran 3 red lights in the last 2 hours, right? Like, this is the type of thing I'm talking about. And then not only that, the cops have access to this, but then they have a really shoddy manual that doesn't describe jack shit because it's confusing as hell, and you have to take several hours to go through it to even make any sense of it whatsoever. And this is what we're doing to ourselves. Are you kidding me? You think that's intentional? I think that's intentional, right? If you make it sloppy as hell when you train the cops, then the cops just use it for everything. And then they get to say, well, I didn't know. Right? I didn't know I couldn't do that. But they know everything about you when they pull you over. They already know. They type in your license plate and they know exactly, probably pull up a map and see exactly where you've been and how long you were there. No, this is not okay. This is not okay. It is not okay. All right? Like, if you want to do this on a private sector basis, I have a problem with that because when it gets too big, there's a problem. When you start sharing this with cops and government and the CIA and the FBI and the NSA, we have a problem. We have a Fourth Amendment problem, people. And if you don't know what that means, we'll talk about that. We'll continue to talk about this. This means you're losing your right to a private life. Do you understand what that actually means? I hope so. It's not that that old argument like they said in that clip there, the couple clips back. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to worry about. Yeah, you know what that is? That's Stalin propaganda is what that is. That's bullshit is what that is. It means you lose your right to a private life. And that's garbage. Let's go to the last clip here. Part 5, cliffhanger. She's going to tell you what she found out, and then we're going to finish up. Still taking phone calls. If you guys have thoughts on this, any final thoughts, I'd love to hear it. 702-957-1037. And click the Discord link. If anybody's in Discord, let me know in the chat. We'll put you in Discord. We'll put you on the show, and you can talk to me and whoever else might be listening. And here you go. Part 5, the dangers of mass surveillance, and not just that, when we start connecting them all together, which appears to be what this Palantir is actually doing. Part 5 action.
What you can do and what information that you're starting with. If you're starting with just a name, you can get, if they have it in their data systems, if they have it in police record management systems, if they have it through other types of private data that they obtain, things that could have access to people's email addresses or bank account numbers, really sensitive information like that. This is all pulled instantly just from a simple name search.
And if you know somebody's license plate, and you use this example in your article,
right,
you can know where because of license plate readers and cameras everywhere, you can know pretty much everywhere somebody's been and when,
right,
for any time period.
Right. So basically you set the radius and you say you're looking for a particular license plate number that's traveled in let's say 100-mile radius or more, and then you can set a date range if you want. And since they have timestamps and they have location stamps, you can get all of that information. And then they also have a picture of the car and the license plate itself. So all of this information is stored just by searching a license plate number.
With a name, we've all seen this on TV, on NCIS and stuff, but really this is even much better than anything. With a name, you can get a person's email address, phone number, current and previous addresses, bank accounts, social security numbers, business relationships, family relationships, license information, height, weight, eye color. If it's in an agency's database, you can get it. So that's what Palantir is doing. Do they talk about the sources of this information? Are they getting it, some of it obviously from DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles? Is it all government agencies? Is it Google and Facebook?
See, the NCRIC specifically, it's a fusion center. So they would use Palantir to take the different police, like local police records. So this would be like crime, arrest, etc. data. And Palantir also says that they get data really vaguely from government and federal agencies. So this could be where you're getting information about like license plate data, for instance, where you could get information about like birthday, whether you're married, whether you have a business logged in your name, that kind of thing.
So some of
terms
it's public
email
records.
addresses,
Yeah.
Right. Some of it's public records. In terms of
Right. So public records, right? It's no problem because it's public records, right? No, no, this is a huge problem. There's an unbelievable amount of problems with this. And this is the thing, right? Just like they said, it's like they build an infrastructure for one reason. And they're like, okay, well, this is the reason we're building it. But then when the infrastructure is in place, then they suddenly decide, well, wait a minute, we have this infrastructure. We can use it for this and this and this. And then it starts to be abused. And again, it becomes a human thing. It doesn't become a technology thing. It becomes humans abusing technology and authority and et cetera, so on. It's the same thing it's always been. It's the same thing it's always been. Now technology is another trillion layers on top of that. It's unbelievable how far it's come in 30 years. But again, go back to that example. 30 years ago, a cop pulls you over, has no idea who you are. Okay, they can maybe call in your license plate on the radio, get like a read of maybe who the car is registered to based on the license plate. And then they come up, let's say they have the name Michael Strange. All right. 30 years ago, we're doing a fictitious, in our imagination, traffic stop. I got pulled over. Michael Strange is driving this car, and they know that Michael Strange is driving the car from the calling in and getting the information, right? So the cop comes up to the door. Window rolls down. Cop says, hello. Do you know why I pulled you over? Right? They say, yep, I was speeding. Cop says, yes, you were. Can I have your license and registration? Right? So that's standard. That's the way it happens. All right. So then the cop gets in their hand, like, let's say somebody else that's not Michael Strange. So somebody else is driving the car registered to Michael Strange, right? So then they get let's say Larry is the name. Larry gives him his ID and says, hey, my blah blah, and he's like, okay, blah blah, right? So we have a problem here. But if you have like, and so right, there's some dissonance going on in the cop's brain, like what's going on, like da. Anyway, Larry gets the ticket anyway because he was driving the car. But you see, now with Palantir and everything else, this big data, they know exactly that Larry hopped in the car. He's like, hey Mike, I'm gonna run down and grab some beer. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I've had too many. Do it. So Larry does, and he's driving my car, and it's fine. But the cop, right? You see, but the cop already knows this because he knew Larry was at my house through Palantir, right? He knows Larry. He knows Larry arrived at my house 45 minutes ago through Palantir. You see what's going on here? There's a gigantic problem because there is a thing called the Fourth Amendment, and we'll continue to talk about this because this is literally. The technology in place right now is literally tearing down the Fourth Amendment, whether you know it or not. And we'll continue to talk about that. This is a mess. So Larry, so intrusive, he says. So intrusive. I used your name just because of that, Larry, with that so intrusive. How dare you, right? Larry, how dare you take my car with my permission, you dirty dog. Where's the how dare you? There it is right there. There it is.
How dare you?
All right. Now you got it. You got it, buddy. You asked for it. You got it. Okay. So now we're going to finish this up. Any final thoughts on this? Do you understand the implications of what's going on here? Now, this company just went public. I've got a whole bunch of links I'm going to dump. You'll see them. Check them out in the go to YouTube, description box. All my links are there where I got this information from. Everybody's talking about how much money you can make off of the Palantir stock. Nobody's talking about the Fourth Amendment implications of what this actually would be. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me. It's like, wait, what? Like literally, we live in the upside down. We live in the upside down. Nobody gives a shit about the implications. Nobody. But Yeah. Well, hopefully somebody does, and that's why we're talking about it. So, Brett says, what's up, Brett? Thanks for showing up. Brett says, absolutely conflicts with the Fourth Amendment. We need to protect our Bill of Rights. I feel like it's under siege. And you are completely right. That's the goal. The goal is to turn the whole Bill of Rights over and rebuild it into something that seems nice, but is less nice. I'm telling you, that's the goal. I agree 100%. Yep. You're up, Larry. You're bring me back. I want some moose drool from the store in my car. Thanks. Let's see. Brett says, what can we even do to stop this? I don't know. I think the thing is, I'm doing what I can. You have to get out there and you have to spread the word on this. Like, you have to talk about the surveillance state. You have to talk about the Fourth Amendment, and people don't even understand how the two things are not even like compatible. They're just not whatsoever, unless the government never has access to that information. If a cop pulls up to you, pulls you over, and cannot access Palantir, fine, right? But they're teaming with law enforcement and they're using this shit. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. Let's see. More good comments. Looking for phone calls if you guys want to give me your thoughts. 702-957-1037. Bailey, tons of good comments here, Bailey. Bailey says, if they only had the, we're going back to the undocumented immigrants. We're not going to talk about that too much. Let's see. This is exactly what Eisenhower warned us about the military-industrial complex. If private companies contract for the government, says Bailey, they should be required to follow the same laws that the government is required to follow. Furthermore, those laws need to be enforced against them. And that's exactly right. Again, Bailey's spot on all night, literally picking up what I'm putting down and exactly saying it better than I ever could. That's exactly it. That's my point. If a cop pulls you over, they should not be able to tap into a laptop and run your license plate and see everything you've been doing for the last 2 hours, right? Or even 2 weeks for that matter, right? This is not a thing that should be allowed. And not only that, again, they should, Anyway, I'm soapboxing. You guys already know. If you're here listening, you understand. If you don't, and if you have questions on the Fourth Amendment and what that means, we can literally do a whole show on that. The Fourth Amendment versus the surveillance state. It's probably coming, right? Because nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. It's not on the top of anybody's mind because we're just trying to survive, right? If you're young, you're just trying to get high, you're just trying to get laid. If you're old, you're just trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? And that's stereotypical, whatever. It is what it is. It's a human life cycle. It is what it is, right? And that's part of the problem, right? And they know it, and they use it against us. And as a result, things like this that are critically important, by the way, to you getting high and getting laid, and also you surviving, critically important to both, they get passed up. They get passed on. They get ignored because everything else is lefty-righty bullshit and lefty-righty jargon. Yeah, we're about done. Anybody have final thoughts? We will do a few more minutes here just to make sure we have no phone calls. But that's what this is about. I'll dump some links here again as we finish up of how I did the research on this and got to the conclusions I came to. Right? Again, I'm one dude. Like, please don't ever take what I say as fact. Don't. Always fact check me. Look at my sources. Think about the way I thought about it. And, you are you. You please make up your own mind. I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm here to say that the media is lying to us. I'm here to say that the government is lying to us. I'm here to say that academia is lying to us. I'm here to say all of those things. What all of that means is for you to decide. I'm just trying to make a case, make a point. Trying to hopefully educate some people. Trying to hopefully, inspire somebody somewhere down the line. So there we go. That's what this is about. Let's see. A few more great comments here. Let's see. John says, but Mr. Strange, would you be so much safer? You would be so much safer if you willingly gave up your rights. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Lies. No. Don't you want a safer world for your children? The robot overlords will protect you. The hell they will. And the resistance better start building EMP bombs now before it's too late. And I agree, right? I think there should be, like, if you're going to have some level of, let's say, in your car, like in your in your Tesla, right? And you got cameras outside looking at everybody around you, and you got cameras in the car looking at you. there's got to be some way for you to have an off switch, right? For literally to pull a freaking lever and be like, I'm going to drive this car manually and I want none of this robot surveillance shit, right? Literally like a switch. You flip the switch and nothing works. But of course, right? Of course. Like all dirty, nefarious surveillance state things, the switch doesn't always work, does it? It wouldn't. So there's no way. You get the point. The point is we end up in a situation where we just can't get out of it. There's so much surveillance everywhere that we can't do a damn thing about it. There's no off switch. There's only you. And every data point you do, every step you take, every breath you make, yeah, they'll be watching you. I should have had that as a clip. Sometimes shit just works too well. You can't anticipate it. Let's see. John, Juck now says, what's up? Thanks for showing up. Which law, the world's or God's? I'm talking about natural rights. So let's say the gods. Let's say the gods. Brett says, please do a show about it. Yeah, okay, all right, we will. I'll put it on the list, and we'll talk about the Fourth Amendment, your right to I can't even do it. It's too late in the night. Your Fourth Amendment, your reasonable search, right? Your right to a reasonable search or not, as the case may be, and the surveillance state. Larry says, going to have your aliases on a Rolodex. Rotate your license plates like 007. Exactly right. Jukno says, religion. 1.6, act like God. 2.6, stabbing him in the face. What are you talking about, man? Hold on. There's more here. What? Holy shit. There's a lot here. Oh, come on, man. I can't read. Dude, I'm not reading 44 paragraphs. You got to make it bite-sized or I'm not reading it. Brett says, I've been looking into EMP scramblers. Yeah. Can you please send me some information about EMP scramblers? John says, open the bay doors, Hal. Yeah, exactly. All right, a couple more comments. Let's see. Ash says, educate me, baby. You've been educated. The Fourth Amendment, we'll do in a show in the future here. But okay, so as we finish up, we're finishing this up. I mean, the surveillance state. This is not a good thing, guys. If this is okay. Last point. Like I've said this before, if you listen to the way that newspeak is, right, Orwellian doublethink, and they say, I think I said this last show or the show previous, and they say you have a public utility, right, which means it's owned by the government. That's what it means. They say public because they want you to think that you own it, but you don't because you just pay taxes into it, and you're still stuck with whatever bullshit regulations they stuff down your throat. So it's not really publicly owned, right? It's newspeak. It's government owned, all right? So when they say public, that's what that means. Now, when we start to get, now you notice these terms, again, newspeak or Orwellian terms, a public-private partnership, right? You know what that means? That means the government is working with Palantir and the cops know where you've been before they pull you over. Yeah. Just think of the terms. Think of the terms, guys. Think of what they use and what they say and how they say it. That's what this shit means. A public-private partnership means China. That's what that means. It means the government has taken over all of the industry, and the government is privy to all the information from all of the industry. There's your public-private partnership, right? It says when you sell it that way, it sure doesn't sound the same, does it? What's up, China? CCP, I know you're listening, you dirty hogs. All right, here we go. Last bit. Jukno says, what about Jesus Christ? Why not trust the truth? I'm with you, buddy. I have nothing against Jesus Christ. Jesus had a great message. So I'm just not going to read 3 paragraphs of that. So break it down to bite size. You're welcome here. Thanks. And we're done. We're finished. This is 3+ long hours, and my voice can only take so much, so we have to cut it short at some point. We'll be back on Tuesday night, guys. So we do this. Wait, what am I doing? Wait. We need outro music. What's up, Tamron? Sorry about that. I saw you there. I didn't say hello. What's up, Tamron? Hi, Tamron. Tamron, what's up? Netflix Social Dilemma. I actually watched that with the wife the other day. Watch it. It explains how everything is monitored. Exactly. Netflix Social Dilemma. Check it out. Yes, I did watch that. Thank you, Tamron. Thanks for showing up tonight. And yeah, I did, yeah. This is crazy. This world is crazy. We live in the damn upside down, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody just wants to pretend everything's fine, and it's not fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. Thanks, Penny. You're the best. Penny says, great show. Take care. See you Tuesday. I'm going to sleep. I did a 5-hour live stream tonight. Holy crap. I thought I was the hardest working man in show business. Apparently you are hardest working. Penny, you from the UK in show business. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. You're the best. Fred, good night, guys. Penny, good night. Stranger Things was a documentary, says Penny. And yeah. Netflix, Social Dilemma. Watch it. Says Tamron. Okay, here we go. At the end, you know what it is. You know what it means. And you know what this is all about. It's all about the things we're not allowed to talk about. We're not allowed to think about. This is wrong speak. This is wrong think. This is thought crimes. Because we're outside of the party line. And I say, fuck all that. And that's why we're here. If we're citizens, if we're autonomous individuals, we have the right to ask our own questions. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's why we do this. That's why we do this. And thanks for hanging out. I know it's a long show. We do it this way to include you. Remember that. I'm not trying to drone on and preach and do any of that stuff. That's not the goal here. We just want to include you. We want to give you time to chip in and discuss. And we had tons of great calls tonight. So thank you again to all the great calls. Thank you to all the people hanging out in chat. Thank you all to the people that listen to the archives after we're live. I know there's a lot of you, more of you that actually listen after the fact. You guys are all amazing. All the support means everything. You know what to do if you want to help us out. TroubledMinds.org. Go leave us a review at iTunes or Stitcher or any of those other places. Most importantly, just tell a friend. Just tell somebody, hey, there's more to the world than what it seems. And I think the more people we get in the same boat, the more we can hopefully move the boat in the right direction. Penny's YouTube channel is Penny Bunny. Penny Bunny and the Curious Bunny. Actually, Penny Bunny on YouTube, yeah. There you go. So Tamron's asking. Penny Bunny on YouTube, and I think you can find her other channel from there as well, The Curious Bunny. So anyway, at the end, running out of music. You guys are best. Thanks for hanging out. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio, and I'm your host, Michael Strange. And as the music fades out, thank you for listening. And from our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night.